Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to NDB Media's Monday Night America as we kick off year 14 here on the network, NDB Media. I'm your host, Roger Noriega, and joining me as host as well for this evening, a man who was there almost from the very beginning. Of course, it would be Peter, the Big Dog Gama. How you
Oof,
doing, young man?
oof.
Urf,
Not
urf,
not
yes.
not too good. The damn Cowboys are winning. So, oh
Oh,
well.
really?
Yeah, there was just a pick six right now by him too. Damn it.
Oh boy. Well,
So,
hopefully we don't have that much of an issue. But we're going to be watching the game as well. We'll probably be talking about it as we go along. But folks, this is it. We've been doing this via radio. We made a transition to video, and we're actually simulcasting right now. So we are on Blog Talk Radio as well. So we ask you to bear with us. If you are listening on Blog Talk Radio, we ask you to come and join us over here on NDB Media's on our Facebook page. That's ndbmedia.com. I apologize. No. Take that back. Facebook.com/NDB Media. So that'll be great. If you're in the chat room, let us know. Give us a few comments. We'd love to know who you are. But we've got a lot that we're going to be going over today, folks. We're really excited. Uh, Big Dog, about this exact same time, 14 years ago, or
yep.
13, however it is, I reached out to you. So actually, it was the day after this episode, which was on the last Tuesday in September of 2008. Do you remember the conversation? I leaned into you hard, Big Dog.
Yeah, you wanted to do a sports show, and I was a bit apprehensive about it, but I said if I would do a sports show, you're the only other person I would do it with. So we did it, and the first show was probably the best show we ever had, but of course that has lost to time because of Block Talk Radio, but we won't get into that.
No, we won't get into that. But folks, exciting stuff. Patty Figueroa, thank you. I'm going to be getting into it. Hopefully, we're going to have some new drink. Our first reaction, Patty, thank you for the love. We're going to be looking back at NDB Media. We're going to be checking out a lot of things. And joining us as well, one of our hosts right now, Peter Gama, and one of our Uber hosts right here on the network who has, dare I say, crossed over to the other side. Finally, Casey.
Uh,
This is your debut.
I'm dipping my toe in the pool for you, Roger.
Oh, I am eternally grateful and thankful. And Casey, yes, I know, folks. I'm gonna share a little bit of internal hubris or internal conversations. Hey, Casey, I'm gonna stop Blog Talk Radio and I'm gonna go to a StreamYard. Ready to take some training? This was Casey's response. Not gonna happen, dude. And I was like, oh, okay. So that kind of ended that one. And over the last year, I finally made the decision. I'm like, how can I stop Blog Talk Radio? So we are doing the simulcast. And for those of you that know and don't know, this is the simulcast. That's it. I'm speaking into the phone on speaker. That's it. Casey, now you understand what I was talking about, that I'm not able to communicate directly with both yet. I'm not that smart.
But
Casey
Blood Talk
tells me,
Radio, it doesn't make it that easy, to be fair.
no, it does not, but nor does StreamYard in getting both to work.
Yeah,
But
which is
folks,
part of why I've been foot dragging for a while. But I came tonight because it's a special occasion. You know, we're having our birthday party, so how can I miss that?
yes, we are. Hi, Frank. How you doing? Folks, we have a lot that we're going to be talking about today, and Casey is obviously welcome. She's been through the wars as well. She's been doing quite a bit of stuff on this network for a long time. My jaw drops whenever I see the numbers, Big Dog, because she does a weekly program which she took over from Mark Lee, and it's The Walking Dead, which is on Sunday night,
Oh, okay.
and that one runs from 5:30 p.m. Pacific time to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. And the uniqueness of that episode is that they're watching The Walking Dead live, and there's silence, obviously, but the minute they go to a commercial, they talk about it, which is really neat. and they're doing the program as the program is live. So, correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, but you're 30 minutes before,
Yeah, we
and
start
then
30
basically
minutes
30
before
minutes
the
after.
live episode, and we go a little after because then it goes into Talking Dead, but we don't stay that long.
Wow. Okay. Fair enough.
And we've got triple duty now because we have Talking Dead. We don't do Talking Dead. We have The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, and now World Beyond, which actually piggybacks onto Walking Dead Classic starting this coming Sunday.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. Now, folks, this program, Casey, would you give us the name of the program, please? The official name.
The official name at this time is Casey Shapiro's The Walking Dead online viewing party.
And there it is, folks. It is absolutely awesome. It is on at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and then it's going to be on. It runs for 2 hours on Sunday night.
Right.
And I've always done my best that if we have a program, which, by the way, I'm going to save the announcement for a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
We're in negotiation, but another program is looking to return. But Jedi.tax, for instance, always followed at 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
when the program was over by 30 minutes. We always did that because I thought it was kind of superfluous, rude, and kind of defeats the purpose of a network when you have programs on at the same time.
Yeah.
So I've always tried to watch that. But not only is she an Uber host that has been doing this program for a while now.
2015. Since 2015. Yep.
She has now another episode with us, or another program that's on Wednesday night, folks. Mm-hmm. And we're going to have them on as guests real soon when I can get my act together.
And check your messages.
Oh, it's so nice to hear from another co-host or another host that that I'm not the only one he doesn't check messages
I
with.
love you. Happy birthday, and you haven't checked your messages since September 9th. We'll work it out later.
Wow.
He's got things going on. It's fine. That's the thing about us.
Oh, yeah.
We all kind of roll with the punches, and we've all taken a few over the years, but we're still here and still going.
Oh, definitely.
Yes, we have. I do want to give a few shout-outs and a few thanks. Obviously, we have Patty Figueroa that's giving us a shout-out. Patty Figueroa Noriega, figure that one out. Michael Day, who's also one of our Uber hosts, and Tony Kanapka. Oh! We just lost Casey. Hopefully she'll be able to come back, but we already got 3 shout-outs. We're talking about how we started this, and we have quite a bit more that we're going to go over. Wow! Recovery! I wish I could play I Get Knocked Down and I Get Up Again.
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba, baby, that's right.
Get logged off and I log on again.
That's one of Roger's favorite songs.
Yes. That's one I know by heart by now.
Oh, you as well.
Yeah, no, it's not just you. I totally have that issue. I've had it happen during a live show before. Like, we're in the middle of talking and whoop, there she went.
Yeah, Blog Talk Radio has been a bit more stable over the years, but even then, it forced us to make the move to StreamYard. It did. And it was something that, well, it is what it is. But I am not leaving Blog Talk Radio because that's where we began. And we're not going to end. But anyway, we were talking about, Casey, what you do on Wednesday night as well, every other Wednesday. And folks, they crossed the 150 episode mark, knowing that their episode is bi-weekly. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
We've been doing the second show we've been doing since 2016. That is the Rock and Roll Shrink Radio Show. And I co-host it with Dr. Stephen Mathis, who's a professional psychologist with literally a wallpaper full of credentials. And he's analyst down in Atlanta. And he calls in and we talk about mental health and mental health.
Yes, definitely. Folks, it's on blogtalkradio.com. So I'm going to put the link in the chat room right now. It's www.blogtalkradio.com. I'm sorry,
Talk radio.
blogtalkradio.com
Yep.
/NDB Media. And you can find the page on Facebook. You can look up Casey Shapiro as well. I'm sorry, Casey. Is it Shapiro or Shapiro?
It's Shapiro.
Oh, I lucked out.
Yeah, it's Jewish for Smith. I'm kidding.
That was good. That's funny. I like that one. Folks, we have people all over the network on our Facebook page, Jedi Tax, our NDB Media page, and Twitch as well. Folks, let us know who you are and where you hail from. We'd love to hear from you. And everyone listening on Blog Talk Radio, I think it's a bit frustrating for you because I realize you're only hearing me. So I'm going to have to replace the episode with the link here on StreamYard. So I want to remind everyone that we are live on StreamYard. So head on over to our Facebook page, NDB Media. I'm sorry, Facebook.com /NDB Media. Gosh, I don't feel good. I have a lot of stuff to do. It's funny, Casey. What I'm going to do is I'm going to text you just a little bit of the image of what I have planned. Doesn't mean I'm going to get to it, but just to give you an idea what I'm going to be babbling about.
Okay.
But folks, here are my notes. Oh, lost the big dog. So.
Oh no! I'm sorry, Jack. It's his turn.
So there it is, folks. This is all for today. These are all the notes.
Wow. So, looks
like
it to be busy.
Just a little bit, but it's all going to be open because it's us. I'm really happy, Casey, that you were able to make it. I wasn't expecting any of the other co-hosts, and Dream got me right before we went live. Of course, Big Dog showed up as well, and now you did. Absolutely awesome. I was not expecting this. I was expecting to be a rather quiet.
I'm checking out your notes. We may be able to have some interesting conversations about some of those things because of my new job.
Really? Yes. Oh, all right.
We haven't had a chance to talk about that a whole lot, but we can talk about that off the air. But it equips me to have conversations with some of the things that you just wrote.
Huh. All right. Fair enough.
I'm happy to pop in and drop little tidbits that I've picked up in the office, and not confidential ones.
Yes. Now, it's funny. Michael is claiming that they're his notes. No, Michael, they are not your notes. But, Michael, you should join us. And, folks, if you have a drink, take a sip. We're opening year 14. There's a lot of stuff going on. As I put it in the chat room, folks, there it is. Blog Talk Radio. Did I spell it right?
Yes.
Oh, for a minute there, I'm like, oh, way to go, stupid.
Don't panic.
Oh, my goodness. blogtalkradio.com /NDB Media. Folks, we have Monday Night America. It's usually a replay on Monday night. On Tuesday night, of course, we have Fandom Access. On Wednesday night at 4 p.m., the all times are Pacific. We have Travel Talk Radio. And then at 8:30 p.m., I believe, Pacific, we have the Rock and Roll Shrink on every other Wednesday.
Well,
and then on Thursday,
because it starts at 11 my time. So yeah.
Wow. Yes. Yeah, so it's 8 p.m. And then on Thursday we have Travel Edge Radio, which is at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Mm-hmm. And then Saturday we have Sports Talk with the Guys, which is at 6 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, the Monday morning quarterbacks.
Thank you. Yes. That's the joke. Because, folks, if you guys don't know, then you do know. A Monday morning quarterback is literally the one that is screaming the plays. Like, you should have done this, you should have done that. On Monday, instead of being there at the big game, they're Monday morning quarterbacks. That's the joke. Well, not only are we Monday morning quarterbacks, but we're so far behind. We're on Saturday.
We're on Saturday.
That's the joke. That's how far behind we are when it comes to everything. That's always been our main drive, is that we are the Monday morning quarterbacks on Saturday. And then, of course, on Sunday night, we have several other programs. We have Jedi Tax Radio, but that's at 8 p.m. Pacific time. But we have Casey Shapiro's The Walking Dead online viewing party. Yep. That one's a little tougher to do on StreamYard, obviously. But
to be honest, we were talking earlier about it's taken me a while to get used to it. Converting is part of the reason, because it is a bit sticky, and I know you've been busy. So I figure we'll get to it eventually. And then Wednesday's going to be fun, because then I have to talk to Dr. Mathis, who is brilliant in everything but computers.
Yes, I've listened to many of the programs. And folks,
Yeah.
this is
So yeah.
okay. Now, you need to understand, folks, that both Dr. Mathis and our resident doctor right here, Dr. Shabira, who knows quite a bit as well, they did a program much to my happiness. And I'm not going to let it go. She's like, dude, you're going there again? I'm like, yeah, I'm going there
It's
again.
okay. I don't
I
mind the story.
This was introduced to me back when I was in the seminary, no less, my senior year. And good old Father Ed Dover gave us the Myers Briggs personality, whatever. I loved it. I am one of the rare 1 or 2 percenters, but obviously you know that this is a different 1 percenter. I am an INTJ, and I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but there's 16 personality types.
Mhm.
These kids spent some time doing some research, but I'm going to leave it at that because apparently the research and the homework and everything they did not pass the muster of the real people. So Myers Briggs, as we know it, and there's another name for it, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I know Casey will correct me definitely because she knows all this. It basically is not accepted, and not only is it not accepted, it's it's um it's not scientifically valid. I believe.
And that was the thing we talked about on the show. It's used a lot by professional companies even now.
Yeah,
And it does provide some interesting insight, but we just wanted to clear up that the methodology of creating that system wasn't scientifically vetted. It was to lay people that have no psychological training at all. They made it up.
and of course, several hosts that had been on that program went
For
to the.
fun.
We're like ready to go, and then all of a sudden, what's this? What
You
what?
had.
I mean, not only are you, Santa Claus, is fake, but it was a rain on the parade, and it was already torrential floods. So it was like, oh my goodness. So ever since then, it became a joke, which
It's
is
been a
now.
running joke with us for a while, yeah.
See,
We have fun
Casey's.
with it though, and it's okay for people to use it and have fun with it. And if it makes you feel better, I'm an ENTJ, so I'm just a louder version of you. Yeah, true story.
That's that I believe that. Now I tell people that in moments of weakness, I become an INF, INFJ.
Well, so you're all up in your
Feelings.
feels now.
Yeah, as I get older, I think it's the touchy feely stuff. But hi, Rosalind. She's over in New York, of course. Thank you, Roz.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us. Of course, as you know, she's done numerous programs on Blog Talk Radio. She's a guest from time to time with us. Who knows? Maybe she'll join us tonight. Come on, Roz, and we'll see.
I
But
support my camera, so let's go. I dare you.
yeah, yeah, Casey did it, and look, I've been doing it. So hey, there it is. Hey, we did get another like right now, and that's from Jacob Hayes, and of course Rosalind Brinson. So we're up to 5, folks. Thank you. I was figuring that we were going to talk about how we actually got here, and since
Yeah.
Casey is here, I'm going to ask her. Other than the connection with Mark Lee, who, as a matter of fact, also spent an inordinate amount of time with us. And I'm not saying that derisively. It was just he was on with us for a long time.
Yeah.
And then Mark decided to go on his own. And of course, he was a monster back then, and he's a monster now. So he's still kind of associated with us, but there hasn't been any programming from Mark for a while now. It is MBL Entertainment.
Yes, Mark BD.
But he's always been, in addition to being an architect, he is a host for numerous programs. He is an MC, professional MC. He's done quite a bit of stuff. I was a professional MC for my daughter's birthday graduation, and that's as far as it's gone. My delusions of grandeur are exactly that. Delusions of grandeur.
I mean, that helped me when I was helping him with this show and then eventually taking it over because, he has professional experience, not only emceeing, some stuff, but Comic-Con, Dragon Con level things, some things over in Europe, especially Germany. He does a lot of work. And when you go to these big cons at, like, let's say there's a panel at Dragon Con and it's on Game of Thrones or Battlestar Galactica, he would be the facilitator that's
Yes.
having all these celebrities chat people up and taking questions from the audience. So that was very helpful in our show and several of the other shows that he did based on television. Because of his work, he had those professional connections. Once in a great while, if we got lucky, we could have people from those shows come onto the show. Walking Dead was the hardest because AMC has a very stiff grip on their staff.
Yeah.
You know, you had to, either your character had to be dead or we were allowed to have crew on. Like we had their props guy that did their weapons, because I did some stunt work and we got to talk about like how he did the weapons for the show and stuff, because it's very different than doing them in real life. I mean, it's when you're impersonating it for the camera, you have to do things that when you're getting real life training, it's not correct. And a lot of people who know how to do it in real life get itchy and they fuss about shows. And we had a very, if we have time for a quick anecdote.
Yes, we do.
I learned a good story about that while we were still living in Atlanta. My husband, Mark, and I at the time, not Mark Lee, were working with some friends doing independent film work. And we started getting involved in the stunt community a bit. And we did a photo shoot with some friends in the indie film industry downtown in Atlanta. And what it was is we all kind of took turns. We were all independent actors and film people, and many people were photographers. So we did a photo shoot of each other. And my husband, Mark, kind of like, he had this James Bond vibe that he liked to do, Secret Service type stuff, spy things, you know, that kind of stuff. So he brought in a couple of his pistols, and, you know, they were range checked. In other words, they were safety checked. And he wanted to do some shoots, kind of Secret Service looking sort of things. And he started doing things he wanted to do, and the photographer stopped him. And he said, "Do you mind if I kind of rearrange you a little bit?" And he didn't really understand. And so the guy took some photos how Mark wanted to be. And he showed him the pictures, and they were okay. And he said, now let me try. I want to show you something. So he rearranged how he was standing and the lighting and stuff. And if you're a trained person who knows weapons for real, it was awkward and not what they teach you at all. And Mark was really kind of freaking out about it a little bit. And then the guy took pictures how he wanted to do it, and he showed him. And it was glorious. But you can't tell that when you're in the middle of doing it. You don't understand what the camera sees. And we learned a very big lesson about why in TV shows they do things that people in real life think are wrong. But when you do it the way they want to do it, it doesn't look right on the camera. It's messed up. And that was a very interesting lesson that we've carried with us since then. You know, when we've done stuff since, it's like, don't rely on what you learned in real life. That's nice, but listen to the props guy.
Yes, there's definitely an art to it that we just don't get. It's an entirely different language. And speaking of entirely different language, there is Michael Day. Michael, I do not believe you've met Casey. She's a stalwart on our radio network.
No, I've never met her.
Many years, and Michael Day, of course, was there as well.
Excellent.
Michael arranged many interviews over the years, and it was on the radio side. I met him. You guys have all heard the story in 2010 Hollywood Expo, that disaster. But
well, I didn't hear it because we weren't friends yet.
It's a disaster.
Oh,
it was an incredibly ambitious
undertaking?
Convention.
Okay, there you go.
They had sci-fi, they had horror, they had comics, and do you remember what the other one was, Mark? But it was like 4 big or even 5 items. And they were right there at Universal Studios, at the hotel there in Universal City. And look, Stan Lee showed up.
Wow. Okay.
And 137 people attended his event on Saturday. No one went. No one showed up. It was a disaster.
Just to be fair, what I understand that their competition,
they were
did a convention the exact same weekend to be in competition with them.
Yeah,
and they advertised more.
Okay.
They advertised more, but I don't know. The guests were at Hollywood Expo.
Yeah, they were. They were.
Everyone was there.
Mhm.
We met so many people there. I don't know who was missing, quite frankly. It was amazing. I remember Erica Eliniak. I have that episode. I have that.
Oh,
I actually she even let
remember
me
her?
interview her. I have that one somewhere right there. But many of the Star Trek ones, of course.
Mhm.
I met Richard Hatch in person. There's a few
Oh,
pictures that I
nice.
have. There were many others. I didn't have the nerve, and they were there. And I think I just didn't have the nerve to ask them. But Casey, okay, I don't remember their actual names now, but you guys will help me out. Jonathan West from Lost in Space. That's his name, right? Isn't it? Or Colonel West. He played the pilot,
I'd have to
and
Google it.
the mom from the series was there as well.
Oh,
Hart,
wow.
Lockhart, I think her name was,
Oh, yeah.
June Lockhart was there.
June
and
Lockhart.
I didn't have the nerve to go up to them.
Oh,
I
dude.
did.
You know better now. See, follow Michael's example.
There, I would lose my nerve. I would go up to them, and it was embarrassing, and I blew it.
You know, you
Mr.
got to grab
Jefferson,
those chances, dude.
yeah, it was
You
it
got
was
to
a
grab
mistake.
them. I
It
survived Harlan Ellison because I let him watch them paint a rose on my boobs.
Really? So you met Harlan Ellison, huh?
Oh, his best friend is my daughter's godfather.
Okay, that's a score.
Yeah,
Yep.
but I learned my lesson early with that sort of thing because it was one of the first cons I'd gone to. It was in Virginia Beach, and a guy I was seeing in college turned me on to Harlan Ellison, and then we found out he was appearing at a con. It was one of the first cons I'd ever been to, and I learned from the beginning, that Harlan does not suffer fools. So I was sure not to be the sycophantic, annoying, cocky, all those people that try to come up to him. I just treated him like a person, and that was the trick. I didn't say goofy, dorky shit, sign my book here, all this other stuff. I just had a conversation with him like an adult. And apparently that's rare.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, because most people come in with a chip on the shoulder. I'm going to be the one that says the funny thing that makes Harlan look bad. And it never works that way. And it's entertaining to the rest of us to watch them try.
He's very sharp, very, very sharp,
Yeah.
and he could cut into everyone and anyone. Yeah, the guy was dangerous,
But
and most of them are.
Yeah. But
But,
I learned that about dealing with them is like I had to get over that first little, oh my God, I don't, if I could just get over the nerves and go talk to them, that has 100 miles of credit, because it doesn't happen very often.
you see, for us, I forget exactly when the Hollywood Expo was, but in 2010, we'd already been on air for about 3 years, and a significant number of guests that we had on were going to be there. So I wanted to get a pass, and they gave it to us for me and my entourage. My daughter, the big dog who was here earlier, and my brother Lewis, who's been here from time to time, mind you. And I take anyone else? I don't know, but we went, and as you know, I'm a connoisseur of coffee, and I've had Javalia Cafe forever, and I've been purchasing it for decades. So I didn't have anything to give them, but I had older special limited edition coffees that cost me like a box of maybe 6 or 8 ounces, cost me like 12 to $15 each. So I don't want to add it up. I don't want to do the math. Please, no one do it. But I had about 25 boxes that I took with me. It was a stash, folks. But I wanted to reach out to the guests and tell them, hi, I'm Roger from NDB Media. You may remember we interviewed you, and we were never able to give you a gift. We weren't able to give you anything, but here's some damn good coffee. And I just want to thank you. And oh my God, people were stunned because I didn't ask them for an autograph. I didn't ask them for a picture. I just went there, identified ourselves, and say, hey, thank you. This is a tiny, tiny thanks for spending time with us. And we got to almost everyone. There were 1 or 2 that I may have missed because I ran out of coffee. But Um, John Billingsley was really cool. Met him there too.
Nice.
And when we went up to him, it was funny because my brother said, "Hey, can we get a picture?" Like, no, Lewis, that's their business, selling pictures. And John said, "Oh no, it's okay." I said, and I first and only time I said, "John, we can't do that." He said, "No, it's okay." And then he offered us one of his pictures to sign it, and I felt bad and then embarrassed because I think he was charging only $20 for a signed picture and autograph.
Mm.
I think I only had $10 in my pocket, and I wasn't going to let him get away with it. And forgive me for saying, but I put the $10 on the table, and I said, I didn't want to give you the $10. And he looked at me, he says, and I didn't want to take the money either. And he did. He was funny because I said, dude, I didn't want to give you the $10. And I didn't want to, but he kept the 10, and I was eternally grateful because I felt bad because it created an uncomfortable situation. They're like, dude, no pictures. That's their business. But I do have the picture. It is on Facebook, and he dedicated it to Gmo, my youngest. So we do have that picture. And then there's a picture of Gmo and John Billingsley, which was
nice.
Really cool. He said, no, come on, take the picture anyway. It was before I gave him the $10.
Yeah.
And it was really neat. I guess $10 in 2010 meant a lot. I think the funny thing is, I only had $10 cash at the moment, and for some reason I wanted to hold on to that 10. I don't know why.
So you can get home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I could get home. I'm sure. Yes.
Money from the con.
Yeah, that was my con money.
Yeah.
But,
you know, it's funny. I had an opportunity that was a little similar to that. Not so much with the $10 part, but while Mark was still the host of Walking Dead, we had on a gentleman named Irony Singleton who used to play T-Dog in the early years of the show. He was on, and we interviewed him. And if you remember what I was saying about Harlan a few minutes ago, sorry, pardon. The whole thing, you know, I've been a professional actor, not at that level, but, you know, enough to understand that when people do this, that is their job. And they appreciate the times that they were on a cool show and it made a name for them, but they really enjoy talking about other stuff. So I did a whole dossier on him, and I had questions lined up for nothing to do with Walking Dead, even though it was a Walking Dead show. And once I started on that, he just lit up because no one asks him these things. He had like a one-man show he was doing in Atlanta and all this other stuff. And we had a great conversation, the three of us. And that was fine. And that was somewhere in 2014. And then in 2015, he came down to DC, and he was at AwesomeCon. And I happened to go by the table, and I didn't realize he was going to be there. And I saw him, and I realized who it was. And I'm like, I got to go back. I got to just talk to him for like 3 seconds. And all I was going to do was thank him for being on the show and let him know who I was and that I was the person that asked him those questions. He got all excited. He stopped doing the autographs and was talking to me for like a half hour and then did a picture. And I didn't even ask him for that. I just wanted to say thank you, and I was going to let him do his thing. And he just got so excited about being able to talk about all of his career. And he kind of got a little chatty. And I was loving it. I was very much appreciating it. You know, as long as he was directing it, I was fine. I didn't want to feel like I'm taking up all of his time. But it was wonderful. And it was so neat to just come and say, hi, you know, I don't know if you remember, but I'm the person you were talking to. And we did this and that. And he got very excited. And that was really fun. So I kind of hope I'll get to do that a few more times once in a while. There's not too many people we've had on, but there are a few lurking around.
I know exactly what you mean because I did notice a few of them did perk up like that as well.
Yeah.
The gentleman Vaughn Armstrong,
Mm-hmm.
he's like this tall, man. And
Lord.
He plays Admiral Forrest on Enterprise. So there you go.
I'm in the middle of binging that right now for the first time. I hadn't seen it earlier.
Admiral Forrest. And I have a beautiful picture of him with Gmo, my daughter. But he was so genteel. We caught him. He was going somewhere. And I said, Mr. Armstrong, I'm Roger Noriega from NDB Media. He says, yes, we did the interview. We're Tom Clancy fans.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't trying to impress me. He just said, "Yes, we talked Tom Clancy." Wow,
Because you
because he
share an
was in the movie.
interest.
He remembered.
Yeah.
He's in the movie Clear and Present Danger. He plays the role of Colonel Johns, the Medal of Honor winner who takes the troops in the movie. He's the pilot in Clear and Present Danger. That as the boys are jumping down, he says, "Good luck, boys." That's Vaughn Armstrong. Of course, he'd read the book, and we talked about it. Oh yeah, there was a huge role, and he's only like in the movie for about 3 to 5 minutes. But we started talking Tom Clancy, and we went on for a while. We were massive fans. I could not. I was so stunned that he remembered that.
Yeah.
And we'd interviewed him maybe a year or 2 years before, and wow. So I felt so great when I said, "Mr. Armstrong, here's some damn good coffee."
Oh, he got the coffee.
Oh, he did. Oh,
I bet he got one of the best bags.
You know what? He was so gentlemanly. He's a gentle giant. He really is.
Yeah.
You can tell by his role on the program. And speaking of gentle giants, oh, I'm sorry, not gentle and not a giant. There's Dream. Hi, Dream.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and all that jazz to everybody.
Good evening, Dream. Now, folks, right now, this man, I guess it's apropos, but he was here at the. He was here at the. Come on, Casey. You know I'm stupid. He was here at the very beginning. Dream actually was there from when I mentioned to him, and I'm just going to mention their first names, to John, Sergio, Fred, Mike, Thomas, and I don't know who are the other ones that were there. Oh, William. Yes, thank you. And William. And I said, "Gentlemen, media is changing. I intend to use the Noriega.biz website, and I want to create content. I want to do stuff." And they were all in. All in. But on our first episode, which you can go back and listen to on blogtalkradio.com.
Actually, you can't listen to the first episode.
No, you can. You cannot hear the first episode of Sports Talk with the Guys.
Oh, that's what it was.
On November 1st, 2008, Peter Gama and I did probably our best sports program ever. Blog Talk Radio destroyed it.
Oh.
Didn't save it, didn't anything. And there's Patty, so she's addressing you there. Yep. Hey, Primo. She thinks everyone's found.
Hola, Prima. ¿Cómo estás?
Thomas was there from the very beginning.
I was the bubblegum chewer and the tape getter to make sure the whole studio didn't fall apart.
Okay, the reason why we have that joke is because Alan Dean Foster was on our program on a weekend. And I couldn't get anyone to co-host with me. And Dream was like, "Alan Dean Foster, that name sounds familiar." And then I rattled off. Yeah, okay, Casey. I rattled off, and Dream was like, "I'm there."
Oh, you better have said that, son. Oh, my God.
Okay, he knew who it was. Now we're there, and the internet fails us. Oh, my God, it was horrible. The connection was wretched, and you could hear the crackling on our end. It was embarrassing. And you can go back to listen to that episode, too. At one moment, Alan Dean Foster said, "Gentlemen, what is that crackling sound?" And Dream had one of the best responses ever. What was it, Dream?
I was like, "I'm unwrapping the bubble gum."
And he's like, to what end? Unwrapping the bubble gum? And Dream said, "I'm using the bubble gum and the tape to secure the line."
Oh, that's good.
I'm getting laughs out of both of them. It's genuine. It was real. And Mr. Foster laughed. It was a hoot. He did laugh. He knew we were having issues, and at that moment, he was like, "That was pretty good, kid."
Yep.
Yeah. And at one point, I asked him to adopt me. And he said okay, so I'm still waiting on the paperwork.
Yeah. Well,
Keep waiting.
Yeah. Actually, I think he's waiting for his payment from Disney. Once he gets his payment from
That's
Disney, then
what
he'll adopt you.
All right, no drinking while you're talking, Roger.
I know. I apologize. Folks, this is great. This is what I was hoping for, getting some of these memories. And, there are a few that Casey and I have, but they were technical memories. The kind that you don't like talking about, the kind that are
Nightmares.
frustrating when you're doing trying to get the program to work.
Yeah.
Because we did spend a lot of time, but Casey picked up on it fast. But whenever there was a problem, it happened on Casey's program probably more often than not. It was because it was Sunday night.
I was going to say, could that be because that's like one of the bigger nights for almost everything, TV
Yeah.
and.
It's the bigger night for everything, and also the fact that Blog Talk Radio has no one there.
Oh, that doesn't help.
Yeah, because they don't have a full staff on Sunday. So if you actually need help, they're like, "Good luck to you."
I don't even know if they even
Send us
have a
an
full
email.
staff.
We'll get back to you.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, they did us wrong so many times. So here we go. So all four of you have been doing this since the beginning. No. We're going to clarify this, but we've been doing it for a long time, and actually even a bit independent. We've been adults here, where we've been doing our own thing for a while.
Legally.
Michael. Okay, Dream was at the very beginning, even before we did Blog Talk Radio and now the StreamYard. And of course, Patty says, "Hola, Michael, and nice to meet you, Casey." I have to refer to Casey as Dr. Casey because she may not hold the doctorate, and she'll correct me if I'm wrong. Because
I have an honorary doctorate in philosophy, but not in psychology.
I was about to say she would correct me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong, and right there, baby. So, did you notice, guys? It didn't even take a second. She didn't even say, "Yeah, I have one." But
This reminds me of Harley Quinn writing Dr. Fate, saying she earned her title.
hey, that's pretty good.
Oh, that's hilarious. Now I need a baseball bat.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to work on that one.
There's one right behind Roger in the corner.
Ponytails up. No.
No, I'm not gonna share my bat. But for those of you that know and don't know, from The Walking Dead, Casey, what is Negan's pride and joy?
No, Lucille.
Lucille.
Okay. Well, for those of you that know and don't know, I'm into baseball, so I don't have Lucille, and I almost did. My daughter almost bought it for me from GameStop. But anyway, we could try to get it, but now I think it's worth too much money. But anyway, I don't have Lucille, but I do have Easton.
Whoa.
Mine is Easton, and Casey, I don't know if you know this or not, but on the aluminum bats, that's the name. It's Easton. That's all.
I did not know that.
Right, that's why. So only hardcore fans know when something happens, and I'm just like, where's Easton?
Okay.
So it's a la, here comes Payne, here comes Lucille. So Negan has Lucille. I have Easton. So, but the sports fans know that one. But Patty,
the Wish version, the Wish version of Lucille.
Ah, yes. Now,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. Michael was not there at the very
I just
beginning.
stopped in real quick because I wanted to be a part of this show because it's 14 years to the making. But I got to get back to work. We're closing the restaurant. And I just want to say hi, bye. Thank you for everything. It's been a blast. And let's keep it rocking and rolling.
Yes, we are. On both platforms.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I have committed. Yes. Yes, I have committed to keeping the Blog Talk Radio through the end of 2022, which means I'm probably going to,
It's more sentimental.
Well, are you kidding me? Some of our biggest names are on the radio network. We have Casey and Dr. Mathis, and then we have Dan Schlossberg, and recently interviewed, we have, oh my God, Bob Niesoff.
Oh yes.
Oh my goodness! Did you guys notice? I didn't remember his name, and I went searching for his book.
Oh Lord.
My God! So, and it turns out that I've been mispronouncing his name all this time.
Oops.
So we'll just call it Bob.
Is it Jack?
That was a pretty good dream. Dude,
Oh,
fix your restaurant and get back to us. We're going to be
All
going
right.
for a little bit. Thank
All
you.
right, peace out.
All right.
Jay.
He's in New Orleans, and of course, Casey is on the East Coast. There it is. It's Dr. Shapiro. There it is. Thank you, Patty.
Only
So,
technically.
so I'm going to have to refer to you as Doctor. Casey, it's changed. It's going to happen. You are Doctor.
All right. All right.
And I'm going to get to you in just a moment, Casey, as to when you joined us, because you've already mentioned some of it, but I wanted to tag Michael in this. And Michael learned of us in 2008. John Broughton was one of our first big guests from Starship Farragut, and he was on I'm sorry. And then we had other guests join us, but it was Michael that arranged for other guests as well to join us. I don't think it was 2008, right, Michael? It was 2009.
Yeah.
Where you set up 2 to 3 interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2010, these kids flew out from DC. Oh my God, Casey. Yes, he's in DC oh my God, we have the nation's capital here. It just dawned on me.
Yes, we can take over certain places in California. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me tell you something about takeover. I don't have my ID right now, but you guys know I am, for all intents and purposes, I'm a Yankee fan. Okay. Cliff Zier, God bless him, is a New York Mets fan. I don't know how it happened, but we had Sports Talk with the Guys as our sports program, and then all of a sudden I had 4 hosts on doing programs, and they were all Mets fans doing Mets shows. I don't know how the hell that happened. I got inundated by Mets fans. That was funny. And I have to point that one out.
Yeah.
Please take him to DC. Well, no, Patty, but I do intend to go over to DC next year. It's on my list to go.
Go over to DC like you go over to Ireland. He's gonna go.
Oh.
Well, he does have to cross a few rivers.
Yeah. Just don't get lost in the Mississippi, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy to do.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, well, sometimes it does go back.
You got to get us DC people together. You got to fix this.
Yeah, there are more people in DC. It just dawned on me right now. Duh! I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Hey, check it out. Day and Casey. There's DC right there.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wow.
He's really trying to pull things out of that.
I hope you watched that first.
Hey, I invited him, but then he decided to go with other people to Seattle and.
Whoa, dude! Hold on a minute. Alaska Airlines.
We have zombie dirt going on.
No, we had Alaska Airlines coming up with some incredible deals. That's the only reason why I flew to Seattle, and it cost me like $99. It was crazy. It was really inexpensive, and I was
So you're
fortunate.
cheap, is what you're saying.
You know, Casey. Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I going to say, man? Come on.
He's not wrong.
The only reason why I'm going to San Francisco on Sunday is because it's $39. But we'll see. But, folks, as you know, I do want to say a lot of you have been inquiring on how I've been feeling lately. On Saturday, I guess everyone could tell I wasn't feeling well. I just want to say, I know I'm kind of messing the vibe, but some people do know and some people don't know. But as of Tuesday of last week, the diverticulitis really took a bad turn, and I've been suffering with it full time now, to the point where I was very concerned. And you could tell on Saturday. And Casey, the big dog tells me I don't have a poker face. Everyone knew from the get-go that I was laboring, and they were like, dude, just end the program. I'm like, no! See that light? We're going to take that hill! We're going to go. Dude, it's a sports program. Yeah, but it's emotional for me.
Yeah. So you're all up in your feels, like it's like we didn't know that either.
A lot of people still don't know, and they do know, but I've had this since May and June. For those of you that follow me, a lot of people are like,
Peg booked about it, and we knew something was up.
Well, it was funny I was made fun of that episode, but when I did the Facebook one where I said, why am I here? That was real. I posted that I was in the emergency room, and I'm like,
Yeah.
can anyone tell me why I'm here in the emergency room?
You mean you like actually didn't know?
I did not know. And I even posted a day after saying, the post that happened, I apologize. I really didn't. Oh, yeah, that one I really did not know. I came to
In the hospital.
and the thing was, I had all the wires on me. I had the
Yeah.
IV, I had this, and it's strange where the realization was, okay, someone's got to know something.
Oh boy.
Because I was
Oh,
at
boy.
home. I had the vague memory that I was at home. And it turns out
Okay.
that's where it was starting. That one was in May. I had 3 visits in 2 months. So I think that was the first one or the second one. And then, of course, when I went in June, that's when they diagnosed me. And but I've had it since probably February, March. So I took a step backwards, and I'm now
working your way back up.
Well, there are more foods that I cannot have now. So it's like, darn.
Okay.
But,
call catering. Fix it in post.
Yeah, you know what? You just do. Yeah, fix it in post. That's pretty good. As I tell everyone. Now, it's funny. I did have problems, too. I got the vaccination on April 7th. And that's where it actually started all, because I had 6 weeks of headaches where I was not able to, April on the 7th, 6 weeks, led into my emergency room visits in May, and then in June, I did not have a good time. But you know what? As I tell everyone, it's a first world problem. It can get fixed.
Hashtag first world problems.
Yes, this one really is.
Yeah.
So that's funny, Patty. Thanks for reminding me on that. But I have received a lot of messages for Saturday's program. I want to let everyone know, folks, thank you for your concern. I'm feeling it today. I really am, and I'm really excited. And I think it's because I have my fellow co-hosts on with me, and that's what it is. So, but I'm actually feeling good right now. So we're going to continue. But Michael, so in 2009, you started joining us really indirectly by scheduling all these guests and ferreting with others. And you just started casually spending time with us over the years. And I think now in the last 2 to 3 years, right, you have formally come aboard, I think. But we spent a lot of time together. So.
Yeah, a lot of time.
Oh.
I'm okay with it. Are you okay with it?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right.
I'm okay with it. We do need to know that we do need to do another ancestry program. No, we do.
No, it was so funny. Casey, you beat me to it. I was going to say, well, if he's okay with it, I'm okay with it. So I guess all of you, what do you guys care? I know. I know, Casey. I'm immature. Now, do you know what is really funny, folks, is how we discover things. And over the years, and you know what, Casey and I actually do have a story too, and we'll get to it, which is really kind of cool. But the story with Michael and I think really took off in the last two years when I mentioned something in my life, and then Michael opened up to me, and then we started doing it on air. Michael, would you take us down that road?
Yeah, we started talking about I had been looking for my birth father for a long time. I had found my birth mother 30 years ago, but she said she did not remember who my dad was. I didn't really believe her. She might have been blocking it. I'm not sure. But I was not having much luck. I was respecting her decisions, so I didn't push her. She died 2 years ago, and that's kind of when I went, okay, I had hired a private investigator a long time ago to try to find my birth father and couldn't find anything. So I did a DNA test, found one close relative, and that was 23andMe. That's all I found that was close. And I wrote them. They didn't get back to me. And I go, okay, I need to do something else. So then I did Ancestry, picked up a few more close relatives. None of the close relatives got back to me. I got some second cousins that did.
Wow.
And they couldn't help. They had no idea.
But isn't it amazing how the close ones you would think would respond? It's those that are on the periphery. Isn't that amazing? Oh, Casey, you
Okay.
jump in.
First off, adoptee. I have known all of my life. I met my birth mother when I was 33 years old through a registry in Reno, Nevada in 93, before the internet was real well codified.
That's how old I was when I met my birth mother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you filled out a form, and then they just run it through the very rudimentary computer they had once a month. It took them 3 years to find her, because in 1990 I had my daughter, and I registered when I had my daughter because I wanted to know if there were birth things. I know these stories go funny, and I wanted to see what information there was because my parents didn't hide it from me. And I went through this exact same thing. It took them 3 years to find her because one of the big things on the registry that has to match is the birthday. And either my birth mother's handwriting or the clerk that transcribed it for the foundation, one of them screwed it up. So for 3 years, they thought my birthday was on the 17th of the month and it's on the 19th. And they wouldn't put the match through. And then I think my birth mother wondered what was taking so long, so she sent a new form. And that cleared up the birthday. And then they called me and said, we have a match. But I went through that much later on. My husband and I did the 23andMe thing. And people started popping out of the woodwork. But no, Roger, as an adoptee, I will tell you that you get more responses from the distant relatives because they're not as emotionally invested. It's not as risky for them to say something. Whereas you're adopted for a reason. It may not be something to be ashamed of, but it's emotional for people. And so, no, they're not the first ones to speak up because they got to have a minute. After they go like, this could be my child or this could be my parent, you need a minute to chew on that. Whereas the second cousins are like, oh, yeah, I have my genealogy in the family tree. It's no risk to them. So, yeah.
And that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I will say the 23andMe close relative, the reason she didn't get back to me was she was a professor at a university and she was teaching. And so she did not have time to get back to me until a couple of months later. And she did because it had said we were first cousins.
Yeah.
And, well, to make a long story short, we were not first cousins.
Okay. Hold that thought. We're going to continue. Folks, this is great. So we're actually doing another episode on our 14-year kickoff. I do need to end this. Ladies and gentlemen, for everyone on blogtalkradio.com, I thank you. I want to let you, there it is, 90 seconds. I want to let everyone know that this episode will be available for download probably tomorrow as we're going to continue. But folks, we started on Blog Talk Radio. I thank you. You mean a great deal to us. The only reason why we're on air is because of you. This goes for our audience here on StreamYard as well as Blog Talk Radio. That's where we got our start. So it was important for me to do a simulcast, and I'm going to end that one now, and then we're going to continue. But for those of you on Blog Talk Radio, come on over. You know where I am on Facebook, but it's facebook.com/NDB Media. That's where you can find everything. But for now, folks, I'm going to end the Blog Talk Radio episode, and we have a little bit more to talk about right now. And there it is. We're done with that one. But I have you guys recognize it. You do. It's funny. I have a quick comment. And look, Patty, this is great. Just wow. Okay, first of all.
You got to call me Dr. Shapiro already, you little stinker.
Oh, yeah, we are. So I'm going to
start. All right. Okay. Go ahead.
Now, the funny thing is, folks, and this is going to be the first time and only time I'm going to say this. There is a church, I believe in New Mexico or Texas, I forget where it is. And it's a Unitary Universal, I may have stuttered there, but they have their belief system, and then they have their master's program, and then they have their doctorate. Well, it kind of defeats the purpose when I tell you how much the thing is. But I told Big Dog and I, dude, let's go through the course. I'll pass it. Trust me, I will. Let's pass it. It's an all you can get. I mean, multiple choice, which is all I think it's unlimited tries, whatever. But I said, dude, let's get our doctorates, and then we could be known as the doctors. So Big Dog said, yeah, okay, you pay for it. Like, yeah, story of my life. So we just haven't done it as a joke. But ours would be a joke. But at work, I said, I'm getting close to my doctorate. I don't know which title I'm going to use here. Some coworkers lost their shit. They're like, I'm not calling you doctor. I'm like, I don't give a rat's ass what.
Barrister works if you get a
yeah,
JD.
I have the title, but it wouldn't matter because it wasn't appropriate to the workplace anyway. But you do have a doctorate, and I need to refer to you as doctor. So sorry, this is Roger being Roger taking over again. Oh, that was pretty good. That was like,
that was my power cord falling, and I didn't want to pull out the power supply.
There we go. You see, sit down. Now go on, Dr. Shapiro. Look at that, man. Look at that.
Patty's enjoying this a little too much, I think.
She enjoyed when I was talking about my experiences.
She wants to continue. And that's what I want to continue with both of you as we now go into our second hour, folks. I was going to do 1 hour. I haven't even touched anything that I was looking at, but I love this. I love that we're going to do this. So this is another Ancestry episode on Casey. I didn't know this about you. We've had a few conversations over the years.
Yeah, I talk about it on social media occasionally, but it hasn't come up too much. It might, it's not because it's private, just because I've already done it. I don't continually harp on it. The only time it's come up recently is, unfortunately, and I'm going to be brief with this because I don't want to bring down the vibe of the show, but I lost my birth mother last year, very near my birthday. And so it kind of came up because obviously being adopted, I had 2 sets of parents, and that was the last of 4 to go. And so, it kind of came up then. And I've also been working on it for some local paperwork. There's a part of the family on my mom's side, my mother who raised me, and they have local land in Prince William County. It's about an hour west of DC. And most of it is a Civil War park now, but there's little pieces of land that never got dealt with, little stray pieces. It was once an enormous farm, and it's been divided up, and some things have been sold. But recently there was a little thing that basically it amounted to a right-of-way to a landlocked farm, and it was just this giant driveway for a while. That was all that was left, but it was still in the name of my great-great-grandfather because nobody had dealt with it since then. It was kind of throwaway land to a point. And Prince William County just eminent domained it for a highway expansion. So they had to find the relatives so they could do something about the paperwork. So now I'm doing my genealogy all over again.
Oh, and I know which highway it is too.
Oh, if it's, do you know where Bristow is? Okay,
wow.
then you know the land I'm talking. Okay, Bristow Station Battlefield was my family land.
Oh, okay.
And we split it with another family who bought part of our farm 100 years ago, maybe 150. And so between the 2 families, we've had to go through all this stuff. So it's all coming up again. Oh, Patty's like, preach.
Yeah.
But I want to kind of get back to the rest of Michael's story. I just wanted to really speak to the thing about, you would think that the close relatives would get to you. But no, that hasn't been my experience at all. It's the opposite because it's more personal to them. And sometimes we end up adopted because the story's not very nice. I mean, that does happen.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
People are not ready to have that conversation. So I'm not at all surprised that the peripheral extended relatives were the first ones to step up. That's not shocking at all.
The reason why Michael and I
imagine when Michael and I are related. Oh, that's cool.
You never know. The reason why Michael and I...
She might be one of the ones that hasn't responded to me.
No, I don't have any email from you there.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then, Patty, you're not right.
I don't know that we're not, though. See, I got to go back now and check and see if I have any extended relatives. Are you Irish at all?
A little bit.
German?
Yes.
Native American?
No.
Distant cousin is possible if you're in a different line. We'll talk later.
Okay.
This is cool, folks, because this is something that we've been doing for about a year now. Michael and I announced almost to the year, right, Michael, that we were going to be doing some genealogy work, and I purchased my DNA kit in November, and it took forever to receive it, and then when I sent it back, Michael, it just would not get processed, and then apparently I didn't spit enough. Sorry, folks. So I had to do it again, and I
You had to do it all over again.
You gotta hop a big loogie down the test tube, dude. You gotta really pitch it in there.
You really do.
Well, I did, and the results were amazing. And folks,
Yes,
I've talked about the DNA, and Michael rode shotgun with me on that one, and it turned out to be one of our more enlightening episodes. More people watched that, and there's several side stories that Mike and I have with our search. Now, the reason why I began this is because, as you folks know, my father passed away in 2019, and we, my sisters and I, and my brother, we've known that we have another sister that was left for adoption. We roughly know the year, but we hadn't done anything, and now that my father passed, we're like, well, we better do it, and we've begun. So they're going to be taking their tests as well, and I'm going to be extending to 23andMe. I've only done Ancestry.com, but I have to because I'm a jerk. Everyone knows the results. It has been updated for me, but I thought I had Persian in me. Michael? Not even close! I think the closest is 1% European Jewish. I have 1% in me. But I have European. Well, I am 50% Iberian Peninsula. So Basque, Spaniard, Portuguese, and then I go up a little bit to French, and now I have a significant.
Yeah, he's part French.
Okay, dude. See, now I gotta check you against Mark.
Yeah, we need to talk about this even further, and this is the thing. Yeah. So we're gonna do it.
You guys want to do a sequel? Call me. I'll totally come.
Oh, you see, she's already slamming me. I wasn't saying I was related to them. What I wanted to say was that Rosalind did tell me to shut up about this because I said, hey, Roz, since I have 2% Senegalese and 3% Bantu people from Central Southern Africa, there are these programs for small business employers. Should I go ahead and apply? And I could imagine Roz already like, yeah, don't do it, dude.
This face right here.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I think that's exactly what she did, and I was like, all right, fine. But knowing that I have 5%, that does answer one of my questions. So we'll leave it at that.
Explains the ego. No wait.
It definitely explains the ego.
What was that, Casey? We missed that.
Said, why don't we go to DC? That's what I said.
Oh, okay. I thought that's what you said. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure that's what I said.
Yes, I think so.
Check your email. Which one? I have 15 of them, for God's sake.
That is good. So I've obviously deviated and I've taken everyone away, but there were
we're all deviants. It's good.
Hey, what we do here. There is more to this story, and it's terribly exciting, folks. And that's the reason why I began it. And then Michael shared with me quite a bit that's why I went to Arizona in December, because Michael was flying over. I had a chance to meet with him. You guys have heard the story. We walked to go and have a meal somewhere around us, and it was like every place was closed. So I said, Michael, let's walk back. Let's get a car and let's go north and see what we find. And it just so happened that we didn't know where we were going, but we just said, hey, there's an IHOP there. It looks open. And we stopped, and you guys all know the story. Our waitress was looking for a family member, but then the assistant
manager?
The assistant manager, 21 years of age. Or no, was he younger?
No, he was 18.
He was 18, the assistant manager there. And I'm impressed. Go getter. Good for him. But he came up to our booth because Roger was being loud. I mean, it's not like I'm coming back here anyway.
I'm shocked, I tell you.
Yes. And I was telling the story because there was only like 2 other parties in the restaurant,
That was
right?
it. Yeah.
And one of them was trying to be louder, and I'm like, oh, hell no. Oh, hell
No,
no.
Roger beat him.
You're like, hold my beer.
Very much so. The young man came over and he said, I'm sorry I overheard your conversation, but I'm adopted as well. And then I, being the ego, I'm like, well, now both of you have something. He already tuned me out. He was already focused on Michael. It was hilarious. And I just sat there saying, well, I knew I wasn't going to be a part of this conversation, but damn, I didn't even get in.
Nope, not at all.
Which was absolutely awesome. Because in my eyes, this young man was just beginning to have the inkling of trying to find his connections, and he overhears Michael and I. And Michael and him made a connection, which was really awesome. Of all the places, huh, Michael? In Phoenix, Arizona, of all the places we stopped at, we found 2 kids there. And they were kids. They really were.
Wow.
So we were talking about it, and then Michael shared quite a bit. I felt that Michael was nervous, but I didn't understand the nervousness he shared with me. We spoke the day after, and then even a little bit. And he didn't share some stuff until we did the episode on how difficult it was for him. I didn't know
It was
that.
too fresh.
Oh,
And I'm sure
right.
Casey understands that.
Yes.
And I think that's going to be my last thought on this, is because I don't understand. I respect and admire that you are sharing this with us, both of you. Michael, you have. Casey, you are now. Some of us don't understand this. And for me, it's like, why didn't the closer people do it as opposed to the periphery? But you made it elegantly clear as to why.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you see, there it is. So anyways, that's code for shut up, Roger.
I did.
Oh, there it is. Michael, how did you feel?
I want to get back to the rest of Michael's story because I know he hadn't quite finished what he was saying. So I want to make sure that
Well, but that's typical. You know.
I know he does that.
Yeah, I know.
We'll let him stay while you talk.
Okay, I could mute him. No, I wouldn't. See, there we go.
Someone did, because I actually can't hear you now.
I know. Well, but anyway, yeah. So going back, Roger was not involved in this.
Mm-hmm.
So this lady wrote me back, who was a close relative, said we were first cousins, and I had started my search based on her profile because she was the only close relative that I had to go on with possible family connections. So I read what she wrote because ends up she was adopted. And she had found her birth mother and birth father 20 years before or 30 years before. And so I was basing mine. I go, oh, well, based on this and that, and it says she's my first cousin, then probably her mother is
the common
a brother, is like my father is her brother.
Yes.
So based on that. So I was trying to go looking up genealogical charts and trying to find these other connections, and I found somebody. And I went through it. I actually talked to somebody that if the connection was right, that this person would be my nephew. And I actually, wrote them because it was, relatively close.
Right.
And it was the man's wife. She was doing it for him, just helping him out. And so we were talking, and she got all excited. She goes, oh, he'd be so excited if you were his uncle, this and that and the other. But the more I was looking at the relatives that kept popping up as like first cousins or first cousins once removed, there was a whole line of a family that made no sense.
Okay.
That I couldn't figure out how they were related to me because I knew it was my dad's side. It was not my mother's side. Right. I knew that. So I go, I don't think I'm right. And so this is about the time that this cousin wrote me back on 23andMe, and I found out she had not put her mother's maiden name. She had put the name her mother went by. Now that's
which is not the same.
Which was not the same.
Right.
But when she told me what her mother's maiden name was, the whole side of the other family made sense. And I went, oh. And so then I started another search.
Okay. Yeah.
Went through trees, found somebody else that seemed to match the profile, kind of what I had been told. And it took me a while, but I wasn't sure because this woman was basically the only close relative that would got back to me. And I didn't get any close relatives on Ancestry. As you said, got second cousins.
Yeah.
Second cousin was through. They tried to be helpful, but they didn't know the stories or anything. So that didn't help. But, it was like, but anyway, so I stumbled across who I thought it was, but the birth year wasn't right from what I had been told how old my dad was.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, military. It says, according to this, he would have only been 17. And I go, that was not what I was told, that he was at least 19. So I go, this guy can't be right. And, but it's the only name that kept popping up. So I found another thing. I found another relative through a family tree that was a 19, 20-year-old kid. And it said kind of like, he may not have taken a DNA test. And so I tried to contact him to see if he had taken a DNA test, because if he did, then this family tree was not right for me. But he never got back to me. So yeah, you understand. Yeah. So it was tough, but then I kept stumbling across this name, just kept popping up. So it ends up I've been in contact with the person from 23andMe, and we've been talking on the phone. And I asked her about this person. I said, I think this is my dad, but I'm not sure. But if he is, we're not first cousins.
Your siblings?
No, she was my half aunt.
Oh my God.
It was her. Ends up, long story short, so Casey can talk more. It was her half brother that was my dad. After everything was said and done, after I found a sibling that ended up taking the test, and it proved that we were half siblings, so everything fell into place.
There you go. It's definitely worth pursuing the search, even if it's a temporary dead end, because sometimes you go back to it. For example, one of the reasons these searches take so long and get weird is, some people may not know this if you're not doing hardcore genealogy, but the National Archives and the census and all that stuff, they have laws about your personal information because they collect it all. Mm-hmm. So they cannot reveal their records for people that are less than 100 years old, or unless they're confirmed deceased, then you can.
Yes. But, so if they're alive, you get nothing.
Yeah. So just recently, last year, they released the 1940 census because they weren't legally allowed to. And all of a sudden, when you get these people who were alive in 1940, you're hitting people that are living now or recently deceased, where you can pick things up. Yeah. So you have a whole bunch of new records to find, and all of a sudden matches start happening because now the time period has been satisfied. So, lots of these things, put it in there and leave a placeholder because you come back to it later. You'd be surprised what you find. When I did my trees, I did 2 trees. I did one for my birth family and one for the family that raised me. Mm-hmm. And get this, they all the families lived in the Mid-Atlantic somewhere.
Oh.
And so on my trees, and I'm not trying to make a gross West Virginia joke out of this. This is actually serious. my trees cross 9 times. Because what you would get is a couple hundred years ago, you'd get a relative and you have this guy, and the guy has kids. So they have like 8 kids. Okay, so one sibling
Or
goes up
10.
here, and that's my blood kin. And the other sibling goes off over here, and that becomes part of my adopted family. But if you go back several generations, eventually they go to the same person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they crossed 9 times because they all lived in the same areas. And up until about probably the 1800s, people didn't travel that much. So you married what was close.
Yep.
Unless the whole family moved. Like if you're in Philadelphia and you went to Florida or something. But if you didn't do that, you didn't go far.
No.
So these, marriages of people far, far away didn't start happening until the industrial age because travel was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, the railroad.
Yeah.
I mean, that changed a lot of things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
remember, folks, historically speaking, the only reason why people moved generally was famine, persecution, or there's another one. I just don't remember it right now. The 3 primary reasons.
chances to settle new land, like when people started pushing out west.
You know what? Yeah, there's
the
adventurers. Yes, the opportunities. I apologize.
And also,
those are the 3.
Uncharted territory, you can claim more than if you were in old Manhattan. Everything's claimed. But if you go out there, it's all fair game. I'm not making light of what happened to the natives that were already there, but in the general sense of a motive, why would people go? It's to get an opportunity.
Casey, I don't think anyone would have taken it that way. You were just.
But I'm just making sure it's clear that I'm mindful of that. But as far as the motive for going somewhere else and marrying out of an entirely new community, it didn't happen that often until the railroad and other modes of quick transportation. Because it's too much drama, so you have to have a very dramatic reason to go.
Yeah,
because it was not easy.
No, it was not. People died on those journeys.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did.
So it would be worth that, risking that.
I had a coworker who
nothing but passing the Patty.
Yeah. And I want to get back to that one because I know you haven't had a chance to answer that one. But I have a coworker who retired. I think it was early this year. His grandmother rode across on a Conestoga, and before she passed, she flew to Alaska on an airplane. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
What did that woman see? Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. I know it isn't to many other people. It is to us because of stuff that we've seen, but wow. Patty asked someone, and she's not being sarcastic. The say so anyways is directed at me. So all of the sarcasm is directed at me.
Oh, so. I know, because we just met. Patty will be sarcastic with me later after we're better friends.
Your family already, Casey. Just because she didn't know. I'm a bit sarcastic on this one. Patty doesn't know very much of our Blog Talk Radio family, even though I talk about it regularly. Patty, that's why I'm interviewing all of them and trying to bring them on over here.
That's what we're doing tonight. We're getting on that.
Hijas de tu mendiga madre, ¿por qué vas a hacer eso?
That was my voice, and I speak enough French to hear the cognates.
I'm going to die on that one right now because
Get well soon, Roger.
She must have sent you a private message. I don't see that.
No, it's going to happen. But hola, prima. You know what she just said, right? Cousin.
Okay. I didn't quite get the context. Okay, now I got it. Thank you.
You're in. So that's another reason why a few months ago I contacted all the hosts and I wanted to cross. That's why I'm trying to interview all the hosts because NDB Media is, folks, believe it or not, it's just not me or it's not just DA or it's not just Michael. It is the others, the other side. The radio side. And you know what the funny thing is? The bigger names are on the radio side, which is absolutely amusing. We have Dr. Shapiro, Dr. Mathis, we have Dan Schlossberg, we have Bob Niesoff, we have Fandom Access, we have numerous programs that are on the other side. And it was so funny when Jamie from Fandom Access said, "Hey Jamie, so I want to work with you, but I'm not doing video." I was like, okay. She says, if you want me to do video, I ain't doing Fandom Access. I'm like, oh, okay.
See, I'm just worried because now I have to put a shirt on when I do my show.
Oh, wow. Okay, Casey, thank you for that. All right. We're going to have to get you a Star Trek uniform then.
Yeah,
And that'll
I'm
work.
fine with that. The only one I ever had was in college. There's a picture of it on Facebook. It was homemade. We put it together. Like
Look at Roger's eyes. Look at Roger's eyes.
I can't fake that. I cannot fake
No.
that. It's because my mother, who still is in this world, and now I did get emotional on another episode talking about it very quickly, that I don't go see my mother because I was the first one that she began to not know it was me. She would ask for me. Allegedly, my brother and sisters would tell me, but every time I went, she was frightened of me. She didn't know it was me. So
it's starting to break apart.
And now my brother commented when he spoke to her for her birthday that it's accelerating. So I am gonna. Hopefully, she won't be afraid of me. I'm gonna go see her again. But there was.
Do you have any music in common with her?
My mother?
Yeah. Because a lot of times when you work with Alzheimer's and dementia and anything like that, where the memories in the long term don't connect with what's going on today, one of the biggest ways that helps bridge that is common music. So I don't know if you have a way you could bring like a little boom box or an iPad, iPad or something, and find some music that she likes that she associates with you, and maybe get a chance to play it for her and see if that does any good.
It would have to be.
I was first scared when he met Roger as well. Did you see that?
Yeah, whatever. She met us the weekend of our honeymoon.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Oh no, actually no, I take it back. No, she was there for the wedding. I take it back. So she was scared. Wow, you weren't even 15 yet, woman. So whatever. But lost my train of thought. So go ahead, Patty.
Talking about your mom in memory.
Believe it or not, yes, there are some traditional 40s and 50s bits of music that she would sing, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. She did like.
With you if you go see her and try that.
She did like the piano aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
So
but you try that out. Sometimes that does a lot.
Casey, I had no idea of doing anything like that, and I'm gonna. I say this not negatively, but I'm gonna have to give that a shot.
Okay.
But I'm taking away from your stories because people are hooked. They do ask questions after.
Yeah. If you don't mind, real quick, can I jump in? And Patty asked a question a couple of times, and we didn't.
Yes.
I did get to spend time with my biological mother. I met her in '93. She just passed away in 2020. And we did connect and get to talk about a lot of things. I met my half-sister. I went from being an only child, being raised that way up until age 33, to having 6 siblings.
Wow.
That I did not grow up with. And yeah, I have met most of them except for, let me see. I have met 4 of the 6. The other 2 are out in Colorado. And unfortunately, one of them has some mental health issues and is kind of not with the real world right now. We're not sure if we can help him. He was in the military and there was problems. But I have met 4 of the 6. Interestingly, when Mark and I got married in 2012, I met one of my brothers when he came to the wedding, and the gentleman who walked me down the aisle was not able to do the father-daughter dance with me. My father, both of my fathers, were deceased by this point. So I asked a family friend, the Harlan's friend, that it was my daughter's godfather. I asked him to walk me down the aisle, but he wasn't able to do the dance. So my brother did the dance with me, and that's how I met him. I invited him to the wedding, but we hadn't met before. We talked online, and I physically met him doing the father-daughter dance at our wedding, and we had a great conversation. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, I did get to spend time with my birth mother. She was able to come to the wedding. and we did a lot of stuff together. I saw where she grew up and everything. Got to see her town and her people. I've done a lot of that genealogy and so forth, and I'm still in touch with my half sister, and I'm in touch with several people on my birth father's side as well. But I did not get to meet him in person. I talked to him on the phone, and we exchanged a few letters. He was not that communicative, but my understanding from relatives is that when they found out that I existed and they knew where I was, he was very excited about that. So even though he wasn't necessarily very good at communicating, his heart was in it, at least. And so we did get to talk. She's being all up in her feels now. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. Yeah.
That's real.
So a family friend, my daughter's godfather, walked me down the aisle, but my brother did the father-daughter dance during the reception because he wasn't able to do it. And that was kind of fun. That's how I got to know him. And found out there's another science fiction freak in the family, so at least I come by it honest. He's a big treasure. So, we talk about that, and he'll send me conventions and text and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of nice. We bond over our mutual nerddom.
Nerddom.
What?
That's funny. Yeah, Patty's comment is genuine right there. I've grown.
Thank you.
And is with my cousin. Noriegas, unfortunately, are bad. Well, some of them that we don't get together unless there's unfortunately a death in the family, and it's well known we don't. And,
I'm telling you, dude, y'all got to stop that.
Yes,
you
and
got to get together and stop being about a dead body. I'm telling you.
Due to my cousin, and I'd like to believe that some of my efforts as well, things are changing amongst us, and we've been spending more and more time. As a matter of fact, I told Michael, and this is a tangent, I apologize, but for the weekend of September 18th, I went to a family's event, and get this, Casey, this was a very Mexican family, and turns out that my aunt, Irma, she was adopted as well. And I'm learning quite a bit from her as well. But she invited us, and we went to the event, and it was an Independence Day party. And there was a dress code, or suggested, to go in the revolutionary dress. And some people, I told Michael, they went way out. And what was really neat is they reenacted El Grito, which is translated directly as the yell. And it goes back to when the Revolutionary War took place. The children at the academy led the revolutionary call to arms, where Mexican Independence Day, yes, Patty, thank you. And it was the children at school that led the cry to revolution, and I believe it was Father Hidalgo, and I will be corrected right now by Patty, that gave
that's
the
not
cry.
On me. It's not French or Irish, so I'm out.
Well, a little bit of the French, but it's all good. And it was Viva Mexico, Viva Mexico, Viva Mexico, and they reenacted that night, which was really cool.
Did somebody take video?
Yes, they did, and I'm going to ask for permission. Maybe I'll be able to do that, but it was really neat. But what was so cool is I'm used to cosplay Star Trek, anime, and everything. This was cosplay Mexican independence.
That's the best part.
It was.
Yes. Listen, can I take a 2-minute break off my video? I need to refresh my drink and give some of my drink back to God.
I think we all do. Yes, I hear you.
I planned for 2 hours, and I'm not complaining. I'll be right back, but I need to do this.
No, thank you.
Is there a way I can just pause my video so you don't watch my cat running around everywhere?
Yeah, you actually can stop the video by the button at the bottom. Stop cam, yeah.
Okay.
And then there it is.
I'll be right back in a couple of minutes.
But we still hear you, so keep that in mind.
Fine. Well, I'm alone in the house, so you won't hear me. You'll hear me walking.
Fair enough.
I'll be right back. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Casey. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to NDB Media's Year 14 kickoff. Wow. I never thought I'd be here, and yet here we are. I'm joined by Michael. I'm joined by Casey. Earlier we had, of course, Dream and Big Dog. Big Dog is looking to join us. He had to attend to something, but folks, we're just kicking off the year. There's a lot more coming. I need you to know and understand that there's two components to this network. There's the radio component, and then there's this component, the video component. And it's really exciting. We've only been doing the video for under a year now, right, Michael? We're getting close. But it has been under a year, and it's been exciting. This year has gone by incredibly fast, and we're looking to move forward. But as I gave the calendar, you have Monday Night America, which is on video, Fandom Access, Blog Talk Radio, Travel Talk Radio, and then you have Dr. Stephen Mathis, the Rock and Roll Shrink on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. every other Wednesday. On Thursday, you have Dan Schlossberg, Travel Edge Radio. On Saturday, you have on this format, Sports Talk with the Guys. On Sunday, you have on Blog Talk Radio, Casey Shapiro's The Walking Dead online viewing party. And then once a month, Jedi Tax Online, which is on the fourth Sunday of the month at 8 p.m. Pacific time. And then we do it again. And we are adding other programs. There are going to be other specials. So, yes, Patty, so do I. Now you know. She's been an incredible part of this program. I am humbled by the people that have been on this network. And it's absolutely cool. Michael, directed at you.
No, not in that sense. I have gone out to see family, my new family, but we've never had a formal reunion.
Yeah. And Patty, I've been trying to do something over the last 2 years, and it's just not happening either. But I think we just have to have the events, and the people are either going to show up or they're not going to show up. But what happened is COVID-19 really, really, really messed things up. Yeah, and it's just absolutely horrible. I've dodged bullets because I've had people at work that tested positive. And Casey hasn't heard this one yet, but this is real. When Keith tested positive, and I'm just going to leave it at that, my supervisor calls me, and he never calls me after hours. So he called me at about 6:30. He says, Roger, several people tested positive, and, I understand that you were in very close proximity to one of them throughout most of the day. How close were you? I had no answer, but Roger being Roger was like, well, had so-and-so been female, we would have been negotiating the fourth date. I said that offhandedly. And he was like, oh, okay, thanks, got it, click. That was the official response. Even I don't know what that meant. But, yeah, I was home for 15 days. She's commented, by the way, just as you were leaving, you see, she's a mama, so that is a motherly comment. Think about it. There's love and a smacking in the same sentence. So then she asked Michael a question, of course, and then she absolutely loves Dr. Shapiro. And I suggest that you get that going, Michael. Yeah.
Yes.
Sadly, it will not happen.
Why?
Today. Why, Michael?
Birth father's family don't communicate very much.
Mm.
Oh, that hasn't changed.
That has not changed. That has not changed. And 3 of my half siblings, my mom's side, don't really want anything to do with me. So.
But does anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's your reason.
Yeah. But, I've tried. No, I've tried. And the one sister on my dad's side who I talk to a lot, she tells me, she says, Michael, it's not you. This is the way we've been all the time. So,
Look at that. KC and Patty's were almost. Remember, folks, there's a 30-second delay between the video and those listening.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think about how quick that comment was, it was in line with Casey's.
Same thing. Hive mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish, but I'm on the reality that I'm just glad with what I've got.
But I do want to share that you had a short trip, I believe, 2 weekends ago,
Yes,
where you
2
went to visit
weekends
someone as
ago.
well. This was a big
Yes,
deal. Did
it
you
was a
want to?
huge deal.
I'm sorry.
It was a
It was a
huge
huge
deal,
deal,
Mr.
which
Roger.
went well, didn't it?
It did go well.
Did you want to share that one or no?
Yeah, I'll share it. I got to meet my dad's full
Oh,
sister.
that Patty's directing that to you, Michael. I thought she was directing that at me. I'm like, huh?
No, that's at
Okay.
me. I can
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah.
Dude, she will. This woman, when she says something, it's yeah.
Mhm.
Casey and Patty have that in common. Oh, good God, yes, they do.
Patty, I'll help you. Call me, girl.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
I did.
how often do I snort, people? And I snorted on that last comment, so go figure.
Yes, of course you did. Yes.
And there it is. I will. I apologize. Now I need a quick refill. Yeah, I need a refill myself. Forgive me a moment. I'll be right back.
Okay, now we can talk about Roger. He can't hear us.
Oh, he can. He's gonna. He already tripped on the way out, just so you can hear what we're saying about him. And dude, you haven't even touched your notes.
No, he hasn't.
And that's not a euphemism, by the way.
He hasn't
God, I
touched
didn't
my
knock the
notes yet.
computer over.
Dexterity check. Oh
Yeah.
my word.
That's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a couple of reunions that were a while ago, like way before COVID was a question, and they went well. And some of them have been with birth family, and some of them have been with extended relatives in my adoptive family, and I get mixed reactions. I've had a lot of people who did show up are very enthusiastic. Some people are not. I used to have a lot more energy about that, and I've had to forcibly learn to let it go because I've had very good luck. I know a lot of times reunions don't go that well, especially it depends on why you're adopted.
Yes.
And
yes.
I will share this. I don't really hide it because everybody knows who is friends with me in my circle. The main reason I ended up adopted is because I have a half brother who's 5 months older than I am, and we can do math. So sometimes reunions like that don't go well. And I used to have conversations with my parents about this when I was a kid. Like, I have a baby book that my mom put together, and it's for adoptees. It has extra parts in there for you to write things down if you know them, and so forth. And, there's a lot of things in there. I can tell my mom.
No more Roger talk. No more Roger talk.
Uh-huh. It appeals to my vanity, though. It does appeal to my vanity.
What? Roger who? What?
It's very good.
How do I find messages on here? You may have to message me on Facebook because I'm too dumb to know how to do it on here.
Actually, yeah, we can't message directly like that.
Okay.
So, I will
tell me where I am on Facebook, and my messages are open. You don't have to friend me to talk to me. If you're a friend of someone I know, they'll go through. That way you don't get messages from some rando in Nigeria telling you the prince wants to give you money. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll bet you. Yeah, I get those. I've gotten lots of money that way.
If it makes you feel better about the COVID thing and interrupting the reunion, I'm not trying to make it into a contest. This is meant to be empathy. I haven't actually buried my husband yet. For the same reason. His family is in St. Louis, and they were up in age where we were worried about travel for a long time. And so we're still kind of waiting for that to calm down. And every time we think it's gonna, something else happens. We're not even done with Delta, and there's a new variant coming around, and I don't know when we're going to get to it. People have done it, and sometimes they look at me like, well, people do it, why haven't you done it? And I'm like, because I don't want to fly a bunch of relatives out here and have them get sick and then have more funerals. So, it's a thing right now. And thank you. I appreciate that. Roger actually got to talk to Mark a couple times. He came on he came on both the Walking Dead show and the Rock and Roll Shrink a couple times to just talk about stuff. So yeah, but I understand about the COVID and not getting to do these things.
I'm glad I had a chance to meet him. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was awesome. I was very blessed. But as far as, adoptive family and birth family not being interested and all that, I used to be a lot more wrapped up in trying to get all these people together. When I was growing up, I had that a lot. My adoptive family all lived within about 3.5 hours of each other on both sides. So my dad's people were up in Pennsylvania, north of Harrisburg. There's a college town up there up Route 15, and they were all up there. And then my mom's family was all in neighboring counties in Virginia, in Northern Virginia. So we had reunions because it was a day drive. It's a family picnic. You go up, you do your thing, and then you go home. And since it was only a day trip for people, we got a lot more people that came. I think when the travel gets to be extensive planning, people start to balk. And they'll come once or twice, but that's about it, because it's a lot to do. But all I can say is I'm glad I did what I did when I was able to do it. And I had to learn that not everybody wants to come all the time. And if you build it, they'll come, and some of them won't, and it will be sad, but it'll still be worth doing.
Yes.
So that's kind of, I don't want to push you if you're not ready, but I want to encourage you if you think someone might show up, because it's always worth it for the couple of someones that will.
Yeah, but as I said, just me going out there, that's about the best it's going to get. And and I have planned trips, and so, most of my half siblings are in Arizona, so I just have to go to Arizona, and I get most of them. So,
and that's where it really started for me. I want to share a little bit of a backstory. When I got hurt at work in actually it was over a many year period, and things came to a head where I was off work for 1.5 years. And because it was a work related thing, integrity came into play, and it was seriously questioned what was going on. And it went bad for me because I didn't want to destroy someone. I actually cared for that individual, and I didn't want to see that person's life destroyed. But because I bit my lip, I ended up losing my career. And I was alone. My family questioned whether I was really ill or not. And you guys all know what happened, so I'm not going to get into that aspect of it. But what I'm trying to say is that when I was alone and I only had my immediate family, there were really only 2 people that were in my life outside of my immediate wife and daughters. And both of their names were Michael. And this man, who I had just met personally at the Hollywood Expo 1 year or 2 years before, made it his purpose, his mission, to not constantly, but to call me on a regular basis, just to make sure I was still alive. I don't want to be that way, but I know what he was doing. I didn't know it then, and I look back and I am...
You realize it in hindsight, don't you?
Yeah. And I did tell him, I said, Michael, you're the only one that calls me. And there's another Michael that a few people know who was also on the network as well, and I see him every now and then. He would come over to visit me as well when I was ill. And it was these 2 Michaels. So Michael treated me as a human being when other people did not. So years later, he's making his way to Arizona, and he told me in the summer that he was going to do it. And I begged Michael. I said, Michael, come hell or high water, I will be in Arizona. I don't care if I get an hour. I want that damn hour. You tell me what I need to do. And it's funny the way it worked out. I got a lot more than an hour, which is really cool. But it was really funny because it was even... there was so many things that were coming at the very... And then my car gave me the check engine light, like 5 days before. Yeah,
Dude.
even Michael said, yeah, he's not going to be there. But what happened was I misfired on the start, so I got that error. It takes 100 miles for it to clear. Well, literally a day and a half before it cleared, and I told Michael, "I'll see you in Arizona."
Next time your mechanic can clear it with the gadget when they check the
Yeah,
plates. Yeah, they can do
now-
that in 10 minutes now, so no more
Am-
excuses.
Am I supposed to tell people that I work in fleet management?
I think I'd keep that quiet.
Then make it happen in Arizona. And
Yeah.
yes, because of what you did, Michael, my cousin is saying that. And then finally, and now Michael can't get rid of Rogers. You're stuck with us, buddy. In a manner of speaking. And it's just, I wanted to make that clear that Michael was a good person. Is. And when I seriously cannot, when that cat came into, oh my God, I forgot about Cobalt and the cat. So we're good. So when Michael came over to Arizona, I begged him for 1 hour. I said, I don't care what time it is. You let me know. I will be in the neighborhood. And I was there, and we spent a lot of quality time together. And now we're going to be getting together next year after tax season. I'm looking forward to it. Unless he flies over. I was going to go over to Lexington later in October, but I can't chance it with the thing I've got going on right now. I'm actually worried about Saturday's flight. So, but it's only $39. So, we'll see. Michael, I still want to know what you did this past weekend since Roger doesn't let you speak. That's visiting your aunt, correct?
Oh, that was 2 weekends ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She doesn't listen,
But
To the moon, Alice.
but I did do something this past weekend too, though.
I don't have the nerve, Casey. If I were to try to send her to the moon, she'd cock block me and say, "Mira, cabrón, it's not going to happen."
Oh,
She just called Elon and said she wants to go to the moon. That's all.
Yeah. She wants to send her cousin to the moon.
Well, yeah. Well, he does probably want to go.
No, he
At
just
least
wants
go up
to
in
moon
orbit.
people. I'm sure you misheard him. He wants to moon people.
Oh, I did miss that.
You missed that? I don't know if I missed this. Now, Casey,
Yes,
get
you
this.
did.
In our other universe, when we've done the Nightmare Hunter and the DA verse, Patty discovered that other world of it. And everyone died laughing because Patty, no one had the nerve to take me on, I guess, for some reason. But she would always be, and everyone loved it, all this. And then you get my brother Lewis, my brother, who's known me my entire life, that he would spell my name Rodger. Casey, that got on my nerves forever.
Dude, he's doing that to troll you because it works.
Well, he didn't know at first because I caught my brother on Thursday when we went to the baseball game this past week.
Yeah.
That he dictates. So it's the phone.
Oh, okay.
And I caught him dictating when we were at the game, which was kind of funny. So I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah. No,
But
I understand.
it still got under my nerves though because they would say Roger, and everyone was just like, "Isn't that your brother?" I'm like, "Yeah." So, all right, I'm sitting down, Michael. It was a great trip because you traveled for, well, I think it was 2 days.
2 days. Yeah, I took my time. So went down to Tennessee. Met my dad's full sister and her 2 kids. It was a very interesting conversation. She's my only aunt of my dad's, full aunt. There's some half aunts, like the one I said was on 23andMe.
Right.
But and there's one other that's still alive, and there's also a half uncle that is still alive.
But this aunt, she wanted to meet you, right?
She didn't.
Oh,
at first.
yeah.
She did not at first.
Oh.
Yes. See, I haven't told you this part of the story, Roger. So you don't know everything. A lot happened in Arizona.
I even broke him now. Look.
A lot of things happened in Arizona. It's why I was very nervous And
I didn't see the nervousness in you.
well, yeah. Well, the good thing was, Casey, is I was very happy that they were in Arizona because I have a lot of friends in Arizona. So I had planned before I was going to meet any of the new relatives, I was going to have lunch and dinner with friends, and they all knew why I was there. So, so they kind of were calming me down, and which was nice. And, getting me ready for the
I'm not
big
laughing.
introductions.
The chat room is acting up.
Well, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Ross, Arizona can be a very strange place. I agree.
Yes.
Yes.
We got another like. Ross, thank you. Of course, we had Jacob Hayes, Rosalind Brinson, Tony Konopka, Michael Day, and Patty Figueroa that gave us the likes. We want to thank you for that, folks. I got to.
But now I lost my whole chain of thought. So, Patty, where was I?
Oh, here comes the bitch slap.
You were nervous about going, and you wanted to see your friends first.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to see my friends. Yes.
You must be a host on a program.
Oh, and this is with executive dysfunction, too. Imagine if I actually remembered things. Usually I have a mind like a steel sieve, but
yeah. But yeah, so I met my friends and everything. The bad part was 3 of the people I was going to meet ended up having COVID symptoms.
Oh.
So, and one of them was my half brother that I have known for 30 years from my mom's side. I was going to visit him, and he ended up having COVID symptoms, so I couldn't see him. So he was like my stability, and I couldn't see him. So that was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
But, I made do. I, saw other people, and, I had more time by myself than I thought I was going to. So, but, hey.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I lost my whole train of thought of why Patty wanted me to do this.
Because Roger didn't let you finish your story.
I know. Well, yeah, I'm just so used to that. It's like every day I don't remember what I'm talking about.
I remembered pants today. That's a good day for me.
Oh, especially if you're going to be on video.
Yes. So I was trying
to remember pants?
video, and I found out I had to do video, so I had to go put clothes on.
You're funny, Casey, but you were beyond a team player because, folks, she called into the radio, and I don't know how long she'd been holding. And just as before we're going to go live, I'm like, oh, hey, someone called in. And it was Casey. I'm like, oh, hey, Casey, tiny problem. You're not going to be able to hear us. And she's like, oh, okay, all right, I'll try the video. And boom, she was on. But like a pendejo, I told Casey, you probably won't hear us, not knowing it was the same feed.
Mm-hmm.
So the audience only heard me. So I'm going to have to go back and correct that. There's always Rustler's Roast on South Mountain. And here goes Patty again. I'm an ungrateful bastard, am I not, Patty? Knowing what he did for me.
If you stopped, we would have to investigate whether you were taken over by a pod person.
That is true.
I'm actually good with that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually good with that. That was funny. I'm like, hey, but look, folks, no matter what, I can take the little slap. So, oh yeah, look, you see? Yup.
But anyway, so going back, now I remember what I was talking about. Yes, my dad's full sister did not want to meet me at first because I was not known about at all. And I do not believe that my birth dad even knew about me. So no one knew about me.
Okay, yeah. See, there you go. Why the immediate family doesn't want to do it, because sometimes that's a thing.
Because when I did make contact, when I was trying to contact my half brother, I didn't get my half brother on the phone.
Who was it? Was it her?
His mother.
Oh.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna make a very quick comment, but I'm not gonna interrupt you as long as Roger does. Oh, stop looking over there. There are people. It's not as common now in the internet age because you can check these things out and figure out that they're full of it. But there are people who used to do things like that as a scam.
Yes,
And
exactly.
this is why people freak out if they didn't know it was coming, because they think you made it up.
Yes, I totally agree. And I knew that. And that's why I was in absolute shock when it wasn't my potential half brother, that it was his mother.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what the internet phone said. So I was very shocked.
And that's a very different conversation from the one you'd have with your brother.
Yes, and especially with the message I left. I mean, I was very vague on the message I left.
Sorry, again, it's not you. They're misbehaving right now.
Well, they always do. So that's what relatives.
So you understand what I mean? That's very common.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times relatives push back on you until they're sure.
Yeah, and they did, and I mean, she was very gracious. I mean, when I realized who it was, and I go, well, I didn't say exactly why. I was basically saying I felt I was kind of a fairly close relative. I was looking for health information.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. And then when I found out it was her and not my brother, I basically had to come clean of why I called. So, and I did. And was she in shock? Yes. Did she believe it? No. She goes, no, my husband is not your father. She told me that many, 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 many times. But beforehand, she had called my dad's sister and asked her, this guy called, do you know anything about him? And she said no. So after that first reaction, she did not want to meet me because she just, as you said, probably it was a scam, whatever. But she never believed me until my half brother did agree to do the test.
Yeah.
And then the test results came back and said we were half brothers.
It's been a huge game changer because DNA don't lie, folks. Science is science. Not an opinion.
No, and that's what did it. And she admitted to me, she said, Michael, I did not believe you. And I was actually trying to find your birth father with the information that you told me.
Right.
So she was actually searching the family tree and the family that she knew in Arizona to see who my father might be. But she had no idea that it was it was really, that's who it really was. Because I was not known, and I know I was not known. So it was interesting.
I had a slightly interesting, somewhat similar situation with my birth mother, and it seemed a likely match, but both of us were kind of we got together. She came to my house, and we spent the weekend trying to get to know each other and talk about it all. And I think there was a period of time for a day or two where we were both waiting for that moment when you knew for sure that the match was proper. And we had most things figured out, but we were just waffling a little. And what happened is she tried to get in touch with the place where she was. She was in an unwed mother's home in Washington. And they had records and stuff, but of course, back in the 60s, everything's closed. So she was trying to write and pretend to be me to get them to tell her things. And then she wrote us herself, and they wouldn't tell her, and none of this would work out. And she was showing me the papers and the letters and everything. And it wasn't until that time, at 33 years old, I had my birth certificate from DC, and I never once noticed this until I met her. I don't have a birth certificate. What I have is legally a birth certificate, but the paper is an abstract of the court of Washington, D.C. Because it had my adoptive parents' names on it.
Yeah.
And that's not my birth certificate. It's taken from records of my birth certificate. They obviously left a bunch of things out. And what I did not realize was that it was a real birth certificate functionally and legally, but not in the spirit of what we're talking about. It only had the new family on it, nothing of the old stuff. And what clinched it was she had a file from that home that she was in, and it had a file number. And it wasn't a file number that you could derive from my birthday or something like that. It was just a paperwork number. Had no connection to me at all. That exact same number is printed on my abstract. It's impossible for her to have that number unless this was all real and have it match. And that's when we knew.
Wow.
But, even though both of us wanted this match, both of us went through and we got data, and we were like 90% sure, but that tipped it over. At that moment, it was like, we're 100% enrolled that this was correct. Patty's got questions. Your biological father, did he pass away before?
I think she's talking about Yes, he did 20 years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You went to the gravesite, didn't you, Michael?
I did.
Ooh.
Yeah, Michael, we met on December 2nd, Wednesday, and then on the 3rd, did you meet with anyone on the 2nd, that day you arrived?
I met with friends.
Okay, yeah, so. And then on the 3rd, I went north to the crater, and then you met with additional friends, right? Because family.
I was going, let's see, what day of the week was that? I remember the days of the week. And
the 3rd was Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday was when I was supposed to go up and see my other brother. Yeah. We ended up having COVID symptoms, so I had to cancel.
But you were there for how many days?
I was there for
like
6.
2 weeks?
I was only there for 6 days. Yeah. But I was cutting the trip in 2. I was going to see some friends, first, and then I was going to go up and see my brother, get some moral support, and then come back and meet my new family. But it didn't happen. So, but I ended up meeting my new half brother a couple of days early, because actually I called my new stepmother, and I had told her that my other brother had COVID symptoms, so I couldn't see him, and so she said, "Well, let me talk to your brother and see if he'll come over and meet you early." So she called him at work. I was happy that I didn't think he'd do it, and he ended up doing it. He came over Friday, and that's when we first met. Was on Friday. We were supposed to not meet until Sunday. Okay. But we Sunday. But we ended up meeting on Friday instead. So that was good. That was good, and I saw the first picture of my dad.
Wow.
And it was cool meeting him. Didn't think I looked too much like him because I really resemble my mom's side of the family. So, but I mean, we had a good time. I have more in common with my sisters than I do my brother.
Okay.
Yeah. The other two, they like Star Trek. Brother, not too much. And my one nephew said, "Oh, yeah, your sister's a big nerd." And I go, "She's not as much of a nerd as I am." He goes, "Oh, I doubt that." And I said,
"Challenge accepted."
I helped build a starship. And he went, "Oh, I guess you are a bigger nerd than she is."
Oh my God. Oh, that's
positive. So yeah, it was.
Bless
I'm actually in a spot right now. Patty, will you send me an image of my father right now from the services? Because I'm having trouble accessing on my computer. Patty, if you could send it to me either by email or text or Facebook, that would be great. And I believe it was the image that we had of his services. I just can't locate the images right now. So I wanted to show you how much I don't look like my father. My brother Lewis does look like him more. I kind of see it that I have more of an appearance of my mother. there are things that I recognize. I'm like, yeah, I look more like my mother.
Yeah.
My father was, for those of you that know and don't know, he was for the Latin audience, he was a Pedro Infante lookalike. And that was like, Errol Flynn of his day.
Ah.
And when you see images of my father, you'll understand what I'm about to say. Knowing my father, seeing him in his youth, and my mother in her youth too. I asked my mother, what the hell happened that night?
Oh my God.
Oh, my brother, I still like the jacket in the background, Roger. How much would a double X or triple X jacket go for? Actually, Lewis, the same price. We'll talk about that off air. I do want to get you that jacket. Oh, God, Patty, you are beyond the bomb. Okay, so she sent me the text message. I'm gonna email it to myself, and I'm gonna put it on the computer right now. When you see the image of him, you'll understand why I say that. It's, Mom, what the hell happened? Because I've seen pictures of my brother and sisters when they were younger. Like, what the hell? So, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I should have this in about 2 or 3 minutes, so I ask you to bear with me. And then you can see them. Because when you were talking about that, Michael, I was thinking about it as well. I do definitely look more like my uncle. Sorry, my mother.
The other uncle.
I saw her comment. That's why. Oh, she's a bullcrap. You look like my uncle. Okay, fair enough. I don't see it, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay. So we're good. My brother's in the chat room, which is really cool. Thank you, Lewis, for showing up. It was great seeing my brother. I hadn't seen him, and my nephew. I hadn't seen him in a while, and it was great on Thursday night. So my brother and I are going to head back out to Arizona. Well, we're going to go to Arizona because we're going to visit the crater.
Because you didn't take him last time.
Well, I didn't know it was on his bucket list.
Now you know.
Yeah.
No, now you know.
Now you know, yeah. ABC, now you know. Wow, that's actually a decent picture. So it is a little blurry because it's a translation of a translation. So I ask you to bear with us. I'm downloading it so I can upload it in just a moment. Let me put it under 2021.
You know what's funny about looking like your parents? I actually looked enough like my adoptive parents where there were people who thought I made up the adoption thing. Both of them were short. My dad had a different facial structure, but he had the blue eyes. And my mom's facial structure was very similar, but she had brown hair. But her younger brother was the blonde hair and the blue eyes. So they just thought it bypassed her and went to him or something, but that we were still related because all my cousins looked like me. And then when people found out I actually was adopted, boy, do I look like my birth mother. Oh, Lord. We both have 6th grade pictures where we did our hair the same way, and I had no idea. I hadn't seen it. But when we were kids, I've had bangs all of my life because I have a widow's peak real bad. I pulled my hair back like this for 6th grade and had it all back with a little bow in the back. And she did the same thing. And we were like, if you put my color photo into black and white, it would be difficult to see that we're not the same person.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that kind of blew my brain up a little.
I ask you to bear with us. This is an image of an image. It's going to cover all of us up for a moment, but this is my father taken about the time that he was married to my mother. Mm-hmm. And forgive me for saying, I know he's my dad, but what a studly little bastard.
Oh, I see what you mean now about the Errol Flynn thing.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
Now, there is an actor about the same time, Pedro Infante, that he is a lookalike, and it's...
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's my father, and now the image is an image of an image. Patty took a picture of it and sent it to me via text. That's why it's not all that clear, but that's him.
But we can see him.
Yeah, yeah. Ignacio Gino Diego. He passed away in 2019, 2 days before his birthday, no less.
Oh, wow.
And I had a chance to see him about 10 days before he passed away. And you haven't heard this story, Casey, but actually, a lot of people haven't heard this story. as you know, I would drive for Uber and Lyft one night a week. And I happened to be in the valley, in the San Fernando Valley, and I passed the Kaiser Hospital 3 times that night. And I don't know why, but each time it's like I was drawn, and my father was there that weekend. Well, on Sunday night, less than 24 hours later, I get the call. He is terminal. He will not, the cancer is too far along. It's done. And we moved there and we went to go see him that Sunday night. But how odd that weekend I was bothered by that hospital, the Kaiser facility in the San Fernando Valley. And I passed it 3 times too, go figure. And each time it's like, I felt a disturbance, not meaning to make a joke of it. But yeah. My aunt, yes, has the original photo, yes.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely awesome.
Get copies made, Patty.
I do actually have a good copy of it, but I would like that one. And I do have a few other copies as well. Not that one in particular, but there are a few others when he was older.
Yeah.
And I have them. As a matter of fact, I don't have it on right now, but I'm a Yankee fan. The pinky ring that I wear is my Yankee ring that I used to wear on my ring finger. But, I'm a little older now, so it doesn't fit. I have my father's ring. And that is one of the only things that I actually do have. Well, actually, no. Casey, you'll get a kick out of this. This is where I meet my clients for tax season. I know you can't see it, but this is my desk, and my clients are over here. And behind them, I have 7 books that represent the faiths and belief systems of the world. I gave my father those books because of who he was and everything about him. And it's the Tanakh, the New Testament. It's the Rig Veda. Of course, it's the Quran. And there's the other one, Confucianism. And it's basically the 7 books, belief systems of the world. It was my deal to buy my father that book set, and when he passed away, I kept them. And it reminds me of the differences that we all have in the world. That even though we're different, we're still human beings. And it would be stupid for us to ignore that. And I try to live by that. And when my clients are sitting in front of me, the books are head height. So I'm always reminded of them, and I always see them. I'll take a picture. There's no point because I can't really move the camera right now, but I have those books that I gave to him, and then I have his Yankee ring, which fits on my middle finger because my father's hands were pretty big.
Funny how that works.
Isn't it? And that was his ring finger stuff. So his ring finger fits on my middle finger. But I've worn it a few times, but I'm worried about it because it fits, but it might be a little loose, So I don't want to take it and everything, and all of a sudden, oh man, where is it?
Can you get a ring guard for it?
I'm sorry?
Can you get a ring guard for it? They make things you can put in so it won't fly off your hand when you go like this.
I didn't know that.
That's the thing. Call a jeweler that you trust and ask them where you can get a good one.
My brother hasn't seen. Do you guys want to see the ring?
Sure.
Forgive me a moment. Michael?
Yeah, I was going to tell you, Roger,
have the
I'm gonna need to get off really soon. But
okay. Would you give me that minute and a half?
Yeah, I'll give you that minute and a half. Yes.
Thank you,
You
guys.
got a quick minute, Michael, to go back to Patty's question from earlier. She was asking, how did you find out that you were adopted?
Oh, I didn't even see that question.
Yeah, there's been.
I suspected it since I was in elementary school.
Where are my keys?
Mm-hmm.
Did not find out for sure,
Oh,
100% for sure, until my adopted mom deathbed after she had died. And my dad told the nurse that was there, he went, Michael was adopted. We never told him, but I think he knows.
Wow.
And I'd already been looking for my birth parents even before that. So yeah, so that's when I found out for 100% sure.
Gotcha.
Because all the private investigators I had hired could find nothing of an adoption record for me from the information I gave them. So
Yeah.
But
I actually found out that my birth father was not on the actual original birth certificate. And I'm not sure why. Like, they all know, and genetically I know, because when I did 23andMe, I paid for my birth father's third son, the one they danced with me. He wanted to do 23andMe, so as a gift for his birthday or Christmas or something, I paid for him to do it, and there is a connection. So I know,
yeah,
even though it's not on the paper, I know that it was a correct match because we match as siblings.
right. And half siblings, I'm assuming.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Because different mother for
Right.
me. But I found it strange that they never put his name, but I don't know what the policies were in the 60s.
They didn't put, usually they didn't put it if the mother had her name, and usually they didn't list a father. I thought it was a lot of birth records like
a lot
that.
of stigma and
Yes,
about
exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, look who decided to join us. No.
I know. Sorry.
I'm
This
teasing.
is the ring that used to fit my ring finger. This is the Yankee ring that he purchased for me, and I will wear. I'm sorry. I will wear it every once in a while as a pinky ring. Now, this is my father's ring, which I have, and it's the only thing that I have left of him. And you can tell the difference in size. Check that out.
Wow. It's
Okay.
like high school ring and college ring.
Yeah. It's really amazing the difference in the size. And these were in the 1980s. I forget, but it's funny. Look, check it out. It fits the ring, and it's there, but it
Yeah, be
might.
careful with that waving. It might go flying behind your desk.
Yeah, no, I don't want you see. Look, just like that. See what I mean? It just comes off. So, my brother sent me a message. Oh, wow. He just okay. Thank you, Lewis. I want to check that one out right now.
Nice.
Okay. Yes. What I'm gonna do is forgive me, folks. I'm gonna switch to Facebook on one of my screens so you can see my my uncle and my brother's, or my uncle, my father. But you guys will clearly recognize, for those of you that know my brother, yeah, it's obvious he looks like them. Even though Patty says I look like my dad, I'm like, it's not even close. So I'm doing that right now. It's a little slow. I ask you to forgive me. But there it is. Let's see if I can make this image larger. There it is. Okay, here we go.
I'm teasing.
Yes. Okay. There it is. My father's on the right and my uncle's on the left. I see my brother right there. Lewis, this is awesome. Thank you. My uncle Ramiro, who was younger than my father, passed away some time ago. And my father, who was, he was born in 1934 and went in 2019. He was 84, just 2 days short of 85. So this was in the 80s, I believe. But yeah, look, carefully see it. That's a Yankee cap. So.
Okay.
Oh, and another thing. And my father had a singing voice. He would sing with my aunt. I have no singing voice whatsoever. Do you want me to destroy the network? I'll just start singing. So I don't have that. But anyway, so okay. I know that you're tired. Let me see. Oh, that was in 2010? Oh, okay. I believe you. Patty says, hey, I took that picture, Lewis. How did you get it? Oh, that's funny. We're having some family infighting. Oh, and talking about high school rings, I lost mine and working at Disneyland, and I think it went to Texas. Oh, jeez.
Hey, Lewis, you can contact the company that made it, and sometimes they can remake it for you if you tell them what year it was, if you remember what it looked like.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Justin's made mine.
Yeah. you should be able to contact. I think Jostens has been bought by somebody, but whoever
Yes.
inherited it, you can contact them and see if they can try to remake it. Sometimes they can.
This is the quality. I know you can barely tell, and it's not right, but notice it's flawless. It's really in great condition. Whereas you look at mine has been through the wars. It's chipped
That
and
ring has
stuff.
seen some things.
This one has,
People
yes.
wouldn't believe.
Yeah, this one has.
It could
But
have
here's-
its own network.
It could.
It has stories to tell. Class
Mhm.
of 1980 high school. We'll see. But Michael, I know we're really getting on. We're gone longer than I thought, folks. This is who we are. This is what we are, and this is the journey that we all take together. And that's the way I see it. A lot of you don't know this, but I remember Big Dog one time said on air, "Well, our fans, shh, dude, we don't have fans. We're not that arrogant. Please, we don't. We have listeners and we have family. And I've always referred to the listeners as family. Michael has heard that. I don't have listeners. We don't have viewers. We have family. And we're all in this together. And I think it's the journey that we're all taking, and it's beautiful. Some of us are on video, some are at home listening and watching. We're in this together. And I've always tried to have that as a message. And I'm eternally grateful everything that Michael has done and continues to do, and sharing his story. You know, Casey, I first of all, you and Michael, wow, you guys really laid some beans out there.
Mhm.
You guys let it be known.
Yeah.
I don't share very many things, and Michael's like, yeah, right. When it comes to my health,
Yeah.
okay, the only reason why I share issues of my health is because it was thrown in my face over the years that I don't share anything. And that I suffered this, and people were like, well, hey, you never let us know.
Yeah.
Well, as Casey knows, and as Michael knows, it's all out there when it comes to my health now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
You've listened
tired
to
of
some of our
hearing it.
shows. I've talked about a whole bunch of stuff. And the main reason I know some people feel like it's not polite, but I think etiquette has changed over the years, and I've had so many people say how much it helps them to hear other people just talking plainly. Like, it shouldn't be something we have to worry about saying. You wouldn't be embarrassed if you said I broke my foot, and unless you were a giant dork and kicked the curb or something, but like, we wouldn't be embarrassed to say I broke my finger. And our other issues should just be like that. Like, it should be okay. And that's why I do it. I try not to overshare, but I try to share a significant amount, because there's people out there right now that are future family that might have something weighing on their mind, and then they hear us talk about it, and it makes it a little less scary and a little less, holy crap, I don't get it. It helps that.
Yeah. Michael, I want to thank you.
Oh,
I
no
do.
problem.
You're done, dude. You're suffering.
I am
You
done.
are
I am
beyond a team
about
player.
gone.
Michael,
I
thank you.
I was up too late last night, so
In Doom
Yeah.
City, it's 12:30 at night.
Yeah, for both Doom City. Oh, I like it. Doom City, DC. I hadn't heard that one before.
Yeah, it's an inside computer joke from a guy in the 90s that had a underground newspaper. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, that's part of DC culture.
That is cool. That is neat. So, yes, I appreciate that comment, Patty. Yes. So, Michael, it's all good. I want to thank you, and we will speak soon enough. Folks, we have a guest coming up on Wednesday.
yeah, I will see you Wednesday night.
Who's our guest, Michael?
Our guest, we have two guests,
Actually, yes.
Carla and David Miney. They are going
they
to.
related?
They are kind of married.
So they're shacking up.
No, they're married.
I'm teasing.
That's funny.
They would be
Yeah.
offended probably.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't say it in front of them then.
No,
If you
don't
guys
say it in
watch
front
this show later, I'm sorry. I was just being funny.
Yeah. No, they are going to be talking about their new book out.
Mhm.
That is, see now it's totally, I've totally lost it. Unlocking the Leaky Gut Code.
How funny. Diverticulitis. I wonder if I'm going to be invested
Oh,
on this
isn't
one.
that timely?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, David has gone through a lot of pain over the years, and he did a lot of research, and his wife did research, and they found basically some good eating habits that has helped his pain and some other stuff. So it should be interesting. As I said, he wrote a book. They have some meal planning, things like that, to try to help people get off hopefully some pain meds and things like that if they've got some.
Nice.
But they'll talk about more of that on Wednesday night at, let's see, it's at
7
regular
p.m.
time,
Pacific
7
time.
p.m. Pacific time. Yeah.
Yes, obviously everyone's welcome. But here's the thing: at 8 p.m., what's going to happen there, Casey?
Oh, Dr. Mathis and I go on the air with a topic to be determined.
Yes. Now, right now, Patty sent me one last image. Michael, if you want to hang around, this is a picture of Patty and my father. This was within the last year, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to get that one. And I know I'll show it to you another time, but I'm about to upload it. And, you know, if you guys did the Jeopardy music, it would be apropos, but it's okay.
We'd have to go through it 4 times.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
That is my father on the left, and
Yeah.
that is Patty on the right.
Oh, see,
That-
in the picture, I can see you.
Yeah,
I see
2005, Roger.
here,
Yeah.
like, you know, around your.
You actually can, though?
Yeah, because your glasses look similar in the photo. Now, see, that makes it less.
Okay, it's interesting.
Because he's wearing glasses in the photo, and so your face right here in the middle more resembles him in that photo. I can see it now.
Wow. Okay. Well, Patty does say that. And I thank you for sharing the pictures, folks. I didn't think I would be doing that right now, but it is good stuff. I guess we've all shared a little bit.
Yeah.
Unlike Casey and Michael, my journey is to find the missing sister. That's it. And hopefully we'll be able to as we move forward. So, Michael, you're good, buddy. Thank you. I'm
Nice
going to stay
meeting you,
on
Casey.
with yes.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm going
Bye,
to stay on
neighbor.
with Casey a little bit, and we'll see. Maybe we'll stay on for a long time. I doubt it, or we'll stay on for a little.
Stay away from the helicopters going over, Casey.
That's a DC joke, isn't it?
Not really a joke.
We are 15 miles from Mount Weather.
Yeah.
So
See,
yeah,
I'm 8 miles from the White House. Yeah.
Oh, when a tiny bit of trivia. All I'm going to say is this: that Michael told me the story that prior to the inauguration in 2016, the former governor of Indiana moved in. A few blocks down? Yeah. So the vice president elect Michael Pence was in his neighborhood for a little while. Prior to the election. Go figure.
Mhm.
That was a little while ago.
Lots of security.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Last I heard, she lived in the Pomona Chino area. Okay, I'm not getting all of that, Lewis. I'm going to have to find out about that. All right,
Yeah.
Adriana
Okay.
Noriega.
Everyone,
Thanks, Michael.
see you Wednesday.
See you on the other side. All right, man. Wow. Michael, yeah, he's been the wingman for a little while now. She lives in Highland, California. Wow. Okay, so family's having a conversation right now. I guess we'll have to see what we're gonna do about that.
I can just be the nosy cousin at parties. Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not the one that I'm talking about. We don't know who she is. We don't even know if she took the name. And the thing is, Casey, it's how. Did you go through Ancestry for the DNA?
No, we went before. We went to 23andMe as early adopters. Ancestry wasn't even doing it till 5 years later, and there was a lot of suspicion because when they initially started, the company who was running all that wasn't all that scientific. It did a poorer job of it than they do on 23andMe because those were science based.
Well, isn't Ancestry out of Utah? Yeah, it is.
Yes, because
God bless America, folks. Make the connection.
I started on a site called rootsweb.org.
What was it?
Rootsweb.org,
Oh,
where I started doing my genealogy online. And about 5 years into it, maybe a little longer, Ancestry bought them out. And there was a lot of screaming about it amongst the cousins because we uploaded our personal genealogy work that we had done to an org, a nonprofit site.
yeah.
When Ancestry bought it, they treated it as proprietary material and folded it into their database because you pay to go on Ancestry.
Yes.
And we're like, F you, we did that research. If you're going to do that, we should get a residual for all of our
Oh,
work.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I hear
plus, you
you.
don't get to say what happens to those are our notes. You don't get to change them or screw with them. We did that research, and you don't get to just blithely go and make it what you want. It is what it is. The family gave that. It doesn't belong to you. Your family history belongs to no one. It's out in the world.
Yeah.
It's not someone's property, except if a researcher was paid to do it as a professional genealogist. That's the only time. And so we got really hot when Ancestry bought them out because all of our notes became product. And we got very angry.
I've been a member of Ancestry since July 21st, 2002. So I've been on there for a little while, and I was on there when a lot of stuff was actually free, and I regret not taking screenshots or images, but I've seen the documents where my grandfathers crossed and they signed in.
Do you
I
have
have.
copies?
No, but they're on there, so I can get them again.
Okay,
And
that's what I was checking because I have a paid account, and if you didn't, I would be happy to go and fetch them and
oh,
download.
I thank you. As a matter of fact, I intend to do that very soon because I have a 3-month deal because I got the DNA stuff. So I just I haven't activated it, and I
Oh
thank you.
yeah, get going on that.
I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row, and I'm trying to. I was going to do it around November, December, but anyway, I've seen those documents, and it's amazing to me. What a moment in time that I
Yeah.
saw my grandfathers, both of them, on my mother's side and on my father's side, when they crossed from Mexico into the United States, and it's really cool. I'm really proud of my lineage. I've talked about. I did. Michael and I have done videos on this now over the last year, Casey. And when I got the results, I shared it with everyone. I showed the imagery. It's been updated now, but the DNA was terribly exciting. But I've only done Ancestry. I intend to do 23andMe, and I think there's 6 of them now. So I'm like, ugh. But I
The
do
only,
want to do
the only one I would
23andMe.
take seriously that outside of Ancestry and 23andMe, there are several companies that have started doing this that specialize in people with African American heritage or African heritage, wherever they're from. And they specialize in that because there's huge chunks of basic information that you wouldn't be able to give them to get started. But they've been very successful in reuniting people, at least with the areas that they come from, getting closer to recapturing that part of their identity. And those I would take seriously. Outside of the big two, there are not too many I take seriously because Ancestry did a decent job of being comparable to 23andMe, but most of the rest of them don't. There's a certain amount of science and what is this?
Oh, okay. I was going to set it up while you were still talking. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh,
But
okay. No, I just got
this is me.
Interesting.
This is my map, and it's been updated, folks. So this is really cool. I'm going to go through the numbers again,
Yeah.
but this is it. My biggest group, it jumped from 24% to 38% now, and
Yeah.
that's Spain. And there it is right there. Did you notice I highlighted it? And yeah.
Yeah.
And then this dropped from 37 to 34%, the indigenous Americas. And Portugal, I think it dropped as well from about 16 or 17% to 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then Wales is gone. And now it's England and Northwestern Europe, 5%. And then here's the one I mentioned to you when I was being stupid, the Bantu people, Cameroon, Congo, and the Western. That one has remained at 3%.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's interesting. I'll go over the range in a moment, but Basque. The Noriega name is from Asturias in northern Spain, in the ETA. Well, ETA, we're a bunch of terrorists. We're separatists, I should say. But our Noriega shield is in Asturias, up in the mountains, up in the north.
Nice.
And I intend to visit there. But look, it's 3%, and the range could be outside of that number there. But Cameroon, Congo, and the Western Bend has always been 1 to 3%. It's never changed. The Basque, even though it's 1%, says the range could be from 1 to 14. So I want to learn what that means compared to the others. But look, this is new. The indigenous Americas and the Yucatan Peninsula.
Oh.
So that's 3%. The French dropped from 7 to 2%. And then I told you a while ago, Senegal was 2%. No, it was dropped to 1 now. And then here's a European Jewish. The indigenous Americas, this was not in the original map either. These two, the Yucatan Peninsula and the indigenous Americas, is brand new. And then, of course, the Basque, which is in the northern part of Spain. If I add up the numbers of the Iberian Peninsula alone, it's 50% solid. So I am European from the Iberian Peninsula. So I was very sarcastic when I said over the years that I'm Persian, and I would even use the joke when I'd interrupt conversation. I was like, oh, sorry, stuck my nose in. It's the Persian in me. Well, I can't use that line anymore. I can't because of the beak that I have, Casey. I've always said that. And people say, you don't have one. I say, yeah, I do. When I head to parts of Los Angeles that are Persian in nature, I am accosted in Farsi constantly, where they'll speak to me, and I'm like, no, and they'll don't deny what you are. I'm like, yeah, I do, because I'm not. So I am mistaken as being Persian. So I really thought, due to the Moorish influence, you know how it is, where I expected it, and there was none. So I can't use that joke anymore. So, but that is my line. There's nothing else. There's nothing from Asia, Oceania, nothing from here. It is, and if you can imagine this is my lineage. This way, and then this one, and I don't know. I guess the Americas, they intermingled. But I could see the southern half coming up and the northern half going that way. So, tiny bit of trivia. I've traced on my mother's side 16 generations. So I've been able to find that in the Azores, my 16th great grandfather was born in 1422.
Nice.
His son married, and his wife was born in 1420. 2 years older than his dad. That's crazy. That's crazy. But anyway, that's a little bit of mine. It's been updated. Excuse me. And it is getting late too. I can tell you're very, very tired, Casey. I know you were going to come in and say hi, and it turned out to be a lot more.
That's long hi. No, I'm getting a kick out of this, and
I'm having a ball with this, Casey.
I kind of missed all the genealogy stuff you guys were doing. I somehow didn't quite catch that was going on.
We've been doing this for a while, and we're going to update it and it has begun a big deal, and we've received messages from a lot of people. And folks, I've talked about the messages, and I'm not going to share them because they are way beyond personal. But most of them have been complimentary. And then there are a few Rogers out there that sent Roger a message. I'm like, that was funny. I love the sarcasm. It was great.
Do we need to talk to each other about your spelling of your name?
Oh, my brother's here, but again, I explained why my name is misspelled.
I'm picking on him because I know he's here now. That's
yeah, and it gives some incredible detail of the haplogroups. But I'm looking forward to 23andMe. But I'm expecting the November sales. and that's when I'm going to get 23andMe when the stuff
Yes.
goes on sale.
Also,
those of you-
if you have any other friends you're close to or relatives that are already members, 3 or 4 times a year, like roughly quarterly, 23andMe members
Yes.
are given specials they can give to other people. So check with your friends and see if they've gotten any of those, if they'd be willing to give you one, because then you don't have to wait.
Oh, check this out. My previous estimate is here. Remember I was telling you it was 37%?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of neat.
And then Spain went from 27 to 38.
Or yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then
48.
the French went from 7 to 2. And then I lost to Southern Italy. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's as the information is tightened up, it's just more and more.
I've had several friends who have memberships on Ancestry. I will tell you, this is the one feature that I feel is slightly superior to 23andMe. They do a better job of continuing to tighten up and refine the heritages that it tells you match up with. I've had several friends who have memberships who have mentioned this exact thing, that they thought they were this, but they're a lot more than they thought, or they lost one or whatever. I've had a little bit of adjusting, but it isn't as detailed as this, which is kind of disappointing. No, Patty, don't ever leave me.
Yeah.
I'm sad now.
Yeah, it's late for her. We may have lost her. And it is getting late for a lot of people. I've
I
noticed
know.
in the last few minutes, our numbers I can tell. And I think people are getting tired. I think they were expecting a 1 hour, and we're close to 3.
We all were. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good talk tonight.
Yes, it was, and it was great. I love the fact that several co-hosts came in, and it was absolutely awesome. So I'm looking forward to what we're going to be doing moving forward. But I do love this DNA stuff. I do share it. I'm having a ball with it. Are you kidding? Since I lost the Italian, I lost another joke. Because since I had 3% Southern Italian, oh my God, I was being a jerk, and I was doing this and all these gestures. Oh, I lost that too. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So, but when I had just Wales, Casey, I'm not sure if you saw the movie The Man for All Seasons. It's in the 1950s. It's a much older movie, but it's really funny. Long story short, it's of Thomas More that stood up to, Henry VIII. And there's a great line where someone that he knew basically lied and turned on him. And he's in the court, and Thomas More says, "Excuse me, whatever, Richard, what is the title that you're holding?" I don't know what he answers, Exchequer of Wales or whatever. And then Thomas More says, to sell one's soul for the world, I can understand. But for Wales... That is one of the best biblical slams I've ever heard in my life. I think it's just so funny. And he did say it. It's on record. He did say it.
Now you got to be nice though, because I got Welsh in me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did too, and I think I still do, because
I have quite a few of my lines that go pretty far back, and it actually goes back to.
There it is. I have Welsh.
There's chunks in my genealogy that basically devolve into mytho-history, because they are so old that the lines are considered to be mythology at this point. And one of the groups is the Tuatha De Danann. And I'm sure if you know anything about Wales, you know what the hell I'm talking about.
I'm learning that, actually. So, yes. Now, check this out. I didn't lose the French. It tightened up. So, they combined the French and the Wales stuff. So, am I Anglo-Saxon? Wow. Now, notice, this is what I was telling you. See how it says 5%?
Yeah.
And the ethnicities, but it can range from 0 to 11. That's what I was talking about earlier. Yes. And the Basque is the one that is from 0 to... it tightened up from 1 to 7. But look, that's where I'm from. And Asturias is around there.
Okay.
And I intend to visit Asturias. Wow, it really homed in. It's a small town Yeah, it's here on the map, but there's no way I'm going to find it at this moment. But Asturias is where we can go back, I think, to the 1500s, and we can find. There it is. Night, Primo. Thanks, Patty. And good night, guys. And Dr. Spirit, it was a pleasure. You rock. Oh,
Thank
hell yeah.
you. Thank you. We will talk again.
Yeah, and I think she's going to be listening to your programs now that she knows what time you're on as well. So. But that's on the radio, so it's really good. Patty is someone who I had known of for years, and unfortunately missed out on all those years. But now we have maintained contact much more. Nice. So yeah, you know what? You just try, and that's what you said that earlier. You just make it happen.
Yeah.
But yes, folks, I got to tell you, this is who we are. This is what we are, and that's the Blog Talk Radio channel. So I'm going to kill that right now. But yeah, it's right there, folks. This is who we are, man. We have a shared lineage, and I've talked about that. I'm going to do that in one of the episodes. You know the stopgap, right, of about 100,000 years ago. We believe that there was a volcano that, we had a nuclear winter, basically. And they estimate that we came to within 1,000 childbearing women away from disappearing from the face of the earth. They talk about the DNA clog, or no, not the clog, the bottleneck that they were able to identify it, and it goes to about 100,000 years ago, where we can trace our lineage to about 1,000. It's like the variations are only 1,000 base pairs or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about that in the future, but something happened 100,000 years ago, and there's several seismic and volcanic events that we can say that we, as a species, we almost disappeared. Crazy. Before we even knew, Casey.
Yeah.
Humanity almost disappeared. But, we'll see. But anyway, folks, it has been absolutely awesome. I was not expecting Casey to share. I didn't know the story. I didn't, Casey, and that's priceless. I thank you for sharing that. That's what we do here. In 2011, there was an earthquake. Or no, in 2010, there was an earthquake somewhere in Southern California. And I just went live on the radio. And I'm like, hey, we just felt an earthquake. It was like a 4 or a 5. I had people calling in, Casey, to report what they had felt. And I didn't know who they were, but they were people that were calling from the epicenter. And so what brought you to us? No one's on air. And that's what brought them to the channel, because no one was on air. I was the first one on. And they said it. I was a friendly voice. And that's when it dawned on me, Casey. Some of the stuff that we said tonight.
Yeah.
That's why we do this. We're not superior to anyone. We're not above anyone. But we're fellow human beings. And I think that's what we try to do, especially on this network. Why do you do what you do with Dr. Stephen Mathis? I mean, he's got a huge clientele, man. And he spends time with us twice a month. Or no, bi-weekly.
Every other week. 2 or 3 times a month. And that's his way of giving back. There's a lot of people who don't even know how to start conversations about what's going on with them. And this gives them the ability to learn things about their situation or their pathology or someone else's pathology that's become their problem or whatever. And a lot of people can't afford to get a regular mental health provider, can't get the kind of care that they would get for physical health. For some people, this is the only source of data they can get a hold of, because he's just putting it out there. He's not charging for it. He's just leaving the breadcrumbs for people and giving them a safe space to talk about it. And he's like, the world needs this, so this is what I'm doing to better the community, is to give them that.
Now, of course, my heart was broken over the Myers-Briggs stuff, and I make a joke of it. Casey's never here to hear it, but I've always said, man, that was my Ray Day Trey. But, Dr. Mathis and Casey were like, yeah, stop screwing around there. They didn't say it that way, of course. They actually were happy to engage the conversation, and we were just listening, and we were like, "Is this fake?" Aww. Well, maybe not fake, but as we talked about earlier, it's
It's fun pop psychology.
I think that's what it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow! I started texting my friends all over the state to see if they felt. If I have friends in Bakersfield, I have friends in San Diego, I have friends in San Luis, all the way up to San Francisco.
Your brother has a lot of friends, man.
Yeah, he does. A lot more than I do, which is good.
Aw.
Which is a good thing.
Quality, not quantity.
I do thank my brother for spending time with us. And folks, since it's at the very end and there's fewer people here, I can now come out with a very, very surprise for those of you souls that stay to the very end. It looks like the Nightmare Hunter will be returning, and it will be possibly the second Sunday of the month. And it will air a little late. It'll be at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So I wouldn't do it any other time because she's on. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So,
even though it's
scary things and then more scary things.
Oh, you're.
So we can have scary Sundays.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. And we're already looking. What we're probably going to be talking about this next that Sunday is tentatively we're going to be looking at Northern European cryptids and stuff like that. So that's planned, and it looks like we're going to do a Halloween one as well. So, but that one's going to be the Nightmare Hunter and Carl Kolchak. So we'll see, because that's what it's based off. Remember
okay,
the Nightmare Hunter.
Yeah. Okay.
No, wait. No, the Night Stalker.
The Night Stalker.
Yes, Carl Kolchak. That's what the Nightmare Hunter is based off of, and we may be doing that. So I'm looking forward.
Nice.
Most of my friends from high school and from my previous work. Yes. All right. Well, fair enough. Haven't done this in forever, Casey. This is neat. Now you know it was kind of easy. You're more than welcome to join any of the programs at any time. So that's it. And if you want to do anything on the video, just let me know. It's 24 hours. Oh, there's no limit on this. You can do as many as we want.
Okay.
Disgustingly so. Yeah. Yes.
Doctor.
So, doctor. Oh, you got it. Yeah. Very good. But when you told me that it was honorary, I think I said something to the effect of, well, it's a lot more real than I'm ever going to have. So it's still well earned. And what you bring to the table has always been, like I said, we were in on the program. And when we got, forgive me, and I say this professionally, when we got bitch slapped on our Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, you know I wasn't trying to do that.
No, I know you weren't, but that's what makes it funnier, and that's why we always put the disclaimer that, look, this is the way it is. I'm not going to go against one of my hosts. Are you kidding me? I'm stupid. Yeah, I can finish that. Yeah, I'm stupid, but I'm not that stupid.
No, you're actually, not. No.
Well, no, we're minus several hosts, so I guess I'm not that stupid. Yeah.
There are reasons.
Oh yeah, yeah. There are reasons. Yeah, it's about being human beings, and if my hosts, some of them who are no longer with us, didn't want to play nice, goodbye. So that's the way it is. But that's neither here nor there, folks. We move on. Ladies and gentlemen, be safe out there. It is a hard time right now, but you can always come and join us. You can always spend time with us. You want to talk? You want to just share? Come on in. Spend time with us. Share your story in the chat room. You want to come in live to speak to us? You guys know you can. You're more than welcome. It's not even us giving you a tacit approval. It's just say you want in. It's not like we haven't stopped anyone before. They take calls. We take video appearances. So it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, I've had a blast. I'm eternally thankful to everyone who's tolerated us this evening or tolerated me. That's all I do. I call it being chirpy. So, Casey, when I was at the San Diego Padre game several weeks ago or last month, my sister and my daughter went along, and I was telling my sister, "Hey, we're cheering for the Padres. We're here in San Diego. You always cheer for the home team, except when you're in Boston and San Francisco." And the couple that was in front of me, the girlfriend looked over to the boy, or not the girlfriend, the wife looked over to the husband. She's like, the guy was like, "Yeah, I'd agree with that." Never the Boston Red Sox and never the San Francisco Giants. So we're good. Lewis, thank you. We just passed the third hour. Casey, when are you on? You're on this Wednesday. Do you guys have a topic already?
Not yet. We're still working on that. In fact, after we hang up, that's the next thing I'm going to do is I have some. What I typically do is glean topics from social media or recent news or things like that, and then we come up with something to talk about. And if I don't use it, I'll put it in an email to myself and keep them until we need a topic. So I'm going to send him a list and let him pick.
I'm thinking of one, but I think you guys already did talk about it, but I have the other one. What's the one that's going around right now? The meme about, actually, I'm forgetting because it's a complex one, but I think you and I have talked about this a long time ago where you don't know how much you don't know. It's a certain it's a psychological condition.
Oh God. Okay.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
It's
we have ended up doing a show about it.
You did do it. I remember.
I
did listen to that one. That's why I said, yeah, you don't have. But there's another meme similar to it right now about denying authority, and I forget what it is. It's a condition where you just go by what's on the internet, and you will not acknowledge science or whatever. And I'll have to find that meme. I'll see if I can run it by you. But the other one, yes, it's a word, and I just can't remember it right now. It's folks. How do you know that you're smart? What?
Dunning-Kruger syndrome.
Yes, I love that one. The Dunning.
You think you're an expert on it, and it turns out you have no idea what you're talking about.
And I, who don't know, that was the joke. I was arguing with someone about it, and I said, "You don't know how stupid you are." And then I said, "You suffer from the Dunning-Kruger syndrome." And they didn't know what it was. I said, "Well, go look it up." And they asked me, "What is it?" Go look it up. I, who don't know what it is, made fun of someone. I readily acknowledge that, though. I know that I don't know.
And that's the difference,
On that, Casey.
Well, on that, yes.
Otherwise, I'm just as stupid. You know what? If look, in all the years, I think I don't take myself seriously. I get moody, I get stupid, but I don't take myself seriously. Oh, the silence. Ooh. Okay, we'll see. Oh, there might be something there. It's what everybody says, the internet never lies. Lewis, we have landed on the moon.
That's his sarcastic voice, right? Lewis, we have a saying in Virginia for that. Bless his heart. He can't help it.
That's the only thing I argue with my brother. We've landed on the moon. That's all I can say. There's a mirror up there, Lewis. We fire a laser up there. Who put the mirror there? We didn't get that lucky. It wasn't a frisbee.
There's a flag up there.
It's okay. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Yes, I know that they also improve the big man. Shoot the lasers up to the moon. All right, Lewis. Okay, fair enough. You know what? That was a pretty quick comeback.
All right. You got to give him that one. All right.
Yes, I will. All right.
You win one internet, Lewis.
That was funny. That was good. That was quick. I've got to acknowledge that. That was a pithy comeback, so that's all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. They're on this Wednesday at 8 p.m. on blogtalkradio.com/NDB Media. You've seen it right there. They're on every other. And Casey is on every Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And that's Casey Shapiro's The Walking Dead online viewing party.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we did get that.
Well, it was beautiful, Lewis. It was funny. Yeah, we do know better, so it's all right. I just noticed that you're not commenting on that, so we're good.
Yeah, I was
Ladies
just
and
trying to
gentlemen.
stop because I know you were trying to wrap up.
Oh, it's great. It works.
Yeah.
I know we still have a lot of people with us, and again, we thank you. But folks, all kidding aside, this is why we're here. We're eternally grateful that you spend your time with us, and we're going to be here. And thank you. If you have any ideas what you want to talk about, we can do that. But head on over to our Blog Talk Radio channel. You've seen the link. I'm going to put it up one more time. Where is it? Oh, great. I did earlier. So I'm going to have to write the thing. Here we go.
Yeah.
Blog Talk Radio. Yeah. NDB Media. Go ahead and spell it correctly.
Words are hard.
Yeah, it's right there, folks. So you guys can check it out.
Yep.
And every Wednesday. And then Phantom Access is on tomorrow. Travel Talk Radio is on at 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And then they're on at 8 p.m. Pacific Time on Wednesday. So there's a lot of programming out there, guys.
Okay.
So, Casey,
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank you, young lady.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you want to join us, you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We'll see you guys on the other side. And we've just kicked off
Wait,
year
won't
14.
expire.
We're here for the long haul. We'll see you guys on the other side.
All right, cool.
Peace!
Thanks, everybody.